I was just streaming it to my channel, see if some people want to come hang out.
Thank you, Eileen. Yeah.
What do
That
you
was a
or
couple.
do you
That was actually a
celebrate?
combination of a couple of workouts, but yeah, today's workout was brutal. Actually,
What the
I just
question?
I not long back from the gym. Actually, before
Hi,
I started this,
Hi, Becky.
Hey, Becky.
oh, yeah.
Okay, Todd. The question. I've got it. No.
What's that question?
Is-
Was that Graham?
What's that?
Didn't you get Todd's question?
No, I was just I was just saying who celebrates Thanksgiving here.
Oh, okay.
I did.
I
Yeah,
got
just Diane, mate. Yeah, we don't have it in Australia. Graham's in South Africa.
Yeah, I wasn't sure about South Africa. I knew you didn't in Australia because Lindy doesn't. So.
Yeah, it's just
South
an
Africa
American
now.
thing for the Pilgrims and the Indians and that. But
Yeah.
But like we have we have plenty of holidays we celebrate here in Australia. So and
sure.
I think it's a good holiday actually. If not even just from the tradition in America, it's just good to give thanks, I think.
Oh, yeah.
For sure. Sorry. What are you guys up to tonight? You just hanging out?
Just hanging out, mate. Yeah.
Right on. I boycotted Thanksgiving anyhow. I fasted today. I said I gotta put the calendar in check. Let it know who's boss.
Yeah. Take control.
Yeah. That's good. How long do you fast for, Todd?
I'm on a fasting protocol right now, so I do a 2 med and then I skip a day. So I do basically a 36-hour fast, and then I do a 2med and skip a day, and so on and so forth.
Okay, cool.
That's great.
Yeah, that's the Steak and Butter Gang's protocol. So
okay.
Yeah, kind of on their fasting regimen. Seems to work because I did OMAD for 9 months, and at the about 7 months I started just losing energy. Like my metabolism was slowing down really hard. And it was just because I'd been under eaten for a while and hadn't noticed that it kind of crept up on me. So went back to, they have more of a priming and then like a fasting protocol. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
you
are
got to
you
be
feeling
careful
now,
about under eating for a while. What was that, Graham?
Sorry.
How are you feeling now, Todd? With you're saying losing energy now. How's it now with the
Way better.
2 med?
It's
Way
way
better.
better.
Okay.
Yeah, and the sleeping's way better. My sleep is so much better too. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's real thing. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's a real thing for sure. Because at month 7, I just started losing energy. Like it wasn't as good as it was when I was fasting. But I guess it's because your metabolism starts to slow down because it's no longer just a stressor on your body, but it's like your new normal when you when you do the same thing so long. So yeah, my metabolism just started slowing down, and so those crazy guys. Before I started carnivore, I had low testosterone too. So I'd read about that guy that believes in using eggs to boost your testosterone, and so when I started the priming protocol, I had to eat 3 times a day until you're stuffed, and do that for 4 weeks to 5 weeks. But also, I was reading on this egg protocol to boost your testosterone. So I started eating 36 eggs a day.
Wow.
Which they say they have so much DHA in them that it's like a whole gear cycle for bodybuilders. So I was eating 3 meals with 12 eggs in each meal, and I was trying to eat as much meat on top of that as I could. I did that for about 5 weeks, and then I started fasting. And it was crazy, man. I was eating almost 6,000 calories a day, and in that first 5 weeks, I lost 8.5 pounds eating 6,000 calories a day. And then it was crazy because then I went to doing 2 meds. I was eating less, but I'm taking a ton of amino acids right now. I'm trying this amino acid therapy where you just dose the heck out of yourself on amino acids. As soon as I started doing that, I put on like 17 pounds of weight in like a 2 to 3 week period on the 2-MAD and the amino acids. It was crazy. And but felt super strong, like way more lean muscle, which was crazy. So yeah, I'm digging the amino acid therapy right now.
Yeah,
Where
amino acids are very good for you. I mean, you normally get that out of your steak, but depending on your activity level too, amino acids are a great supplement to have if you get the right source as well.
yeah, well, I'll tell you when I'm done with this therapy. But it's the Steak and Butter Gang's been dealing with a couple people that are really diving into amino acid therapy, and so some of us are trying it out. But yeah, I'm like overdosing on amino acids right now just to try it. But I'm taking the Amino Balance. It's got all 8 essential amino acids plus like the 15 what do you call it? What do you call it? Branch chain amino acids, I guess. And yeah, I've been taking like 4 doses a day, like triple the dose for my size, trying to hit it harder. And I got to tell you, it seems to be making a difference. I'm feeling way better. It's crazy. It's crazy how much lean tissue it's putting on too.
Yeah.
But,
well, it's good to hear, man. Yeah.
Kind of fun. We'll see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, it's good to experiment. You got to mix things up as well every now and then. That way you can avoid plateaus.
I definitely hit a plateau. That's what that was about. I was on like a 2-month plateau, and I was just feeling down. Like my energy was just slowly dropping.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely got it back now. So that worked.
Yeah, a lot of that, it can be a mental thing too. It's you hit a plateau and you can't seem to get past it. It just feels like while you're doing it, sort of thing. You sort of start getting a bit low on yourself, but you change things up a bit, move things around, and you can pretty much break it pretty easy.
Yeah, I was.
Before we go, sorry, Todd.
no.
Can we mention some of these channels? Todd, you want to go first?
Yeah, I'm the Carnivore Cure. I appreciate it. Let's see.
Carnivore Cure.
Yeah.
Graham.
Carnivore Transformer.
Very good. And Diane.
Bypass Carnivore.
Bypass Carnivore. And I'm DC Learning to Live. So, yeah.
Nice.
Okay.
That first live that we did, David, remember I was telling you I was trying to glean as much as I could from all these other channels about priming, and nobody ever really explained what priming was. And when I was telling you about it, it was Todd was the first one to start talking about how many eggs he had to eat, and I was like, I can't eat all them eggs.
You don't.
Yeah.
You don't have to do the eggs on priming. You don't have to do the eggs on priming. That was just something that I was doing to boost my testosterone, because before I went carnivore, I had real low testosterone, obviously, because I was so huge, But now I'm trying to, like, they had me on testosterone replacement therapy, but then I found out you can get dependent on the shots, and I didn't want to get dependent on them. So I'd only been taking them for 5 weeks, and I'm like, I'm going to try this with carnivore and try to heal it naturally first. So that's why I'm doing the eggs, because there's a lot of studies that show that eating 36 eggs a day has so much DHEA, in the eggs, in the yolks of the eggs, that a lot of the bodybuilders say it's like taking a full gear cycle, which I don't know if that's true or not. But I can tell you this: after eating 1,260 eggs in 5 weeks, I definitely felt the boost in testosterone. Absolutely, I did, for sure.
Yeah. You don't have to eat the whole egg either. Like, you just eat the yolk. Okay.
Well,
so, which is a lot easier than eating the whole 36 whole eggs.
Yeah, exactly. At the end, I was having so much trouble with the whites because I didn't like the whites anyhow, and they're actually upsetting my stomach, that I just started taking the yolks and drinking them raw. It was easier.
Yeah, that helped. But yeah, you're right. You get dependent on the shots. What happens if you start taking TRT therapy? Your body, like that, when it's in a natural state, it's supposed to produce its own testosterone. But if you're injecting that, your body starts to slow down the production of it by itself, because it's just pretty much just, it figures, okay, you've got enough. I don't need to do any more work. So it would just, stop producing testosterone ourselves. It's not like an addiction thing. Your body just naturally stops, starts slowing down the production by itself. So it's better to boost it through diet.
Yeah, I heard that, and it makes sense, right? Because if it thinks that if it thinks that your environment is creating a less of a need for testosterone, it stops making itself, because it thinks you're getting it from your environment or whatever. The load's less, but yeah, I heard that, and I was like, I don't enjoy taking these shots twice a week, and I did not want to get stuck on them, So it's like, well, carnivore's healing everything else on me. I might as well see if it'll heal my testosterone,
Yeah. Yeah. Well, eating a lot of beef will certainly help too.
Mhm.
I eat plenty of that.
So talk about eggs. I wanna go off the topic and ask David a question. So David,
Okay.
what's the
Yep.
purpose of dipping your meat in? Was it egg yolk or was it the egg
Eggs.
yellow? The
Yeah,
whole egg.
just flavor, mate.
Is it just for flavor?
Yeah, just for flavor.
Lindy, I know Lindy does that a bunch. Limitless Lindy.
Yeah.
She's always telling me about dipping her steaks in egg yolks.
Yeah. Well, in Japan, it's a very common thing. You go to, you have a barbecue or something, you have like a bowl of just raw egg, just dip it in that as you eat it. Told it would talking about a couple of weeks back, I was in Japan, and I went to, in Japan, you have these great all-you-can-eat buffet meat restaurants. You can eat as much as you want for a set time, for a set price. But you get an egg in a bowl, just raw, and straight from the barbecue, straight into the egg, and then just eat like that. Yeah, it's delicious.
I need to try that.
Yeah, it's very good. I mean, make sure it's really fresh eggs though. Don't anything a little bit old, you might get salmonella.
Yeah, I like to take egg yolks and then I use ground beef, cook it up, and I put a little bit of beef broth in it and make like a gravy over the brown beef. But then I add egg yolks to that to kind of thicken the beef broth into a gravy,
Yeah,
and I really like that.
Yeah, I like ground beef mixed with eggs is good. Actually, I'll do that too.
Yeah.
I like making scrambled eggs with chicken broth.
Well,
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a family reunion.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Oh yeah. Lindy told me the trick was to salt your egg yolks because it thickens it like a gravy. If you salt the egg yolks a little.
Yeah, salt the egg yolks first. Yeah, that's up to you. I mean, I just salt the beef and then just dip it in the egg, and it's all good. So either way.
For sure.
Yeah, let's just see. I think we must get Lindy online.
Yeah.
For more recipes.
Lindy, you're up.
Hey Todd, did you talk to Michael today?
I did a little bit. He's all busy. I've been trying to talk to him all day, but he's working with a guy making us some music because we keep getting what do you call those, like YouTube copyright strikes or something. Even though we keep using these music and they send us their like certificate that we can use it, but we still get copyright strikes for using it, even though we have the copyrights for it. So anyhow, we finally decided to get like some custom music just so we stop getting copyright violations over and over.
Yeah, that's good.
Did he tell you I woke up out of a dead sleep laughing because I was dreaming about that story about the airplane. You described it in such detail, it stuck in my mind. It was so funny.
I'm glad you liked it.
Oh
It's 100% true story. I was laughing so hard because it was just funny.
Yeah.
I'm glad you liked it though.
Oh, it was so funny.
Hi, Annabella.
Yeah, Annabella. Yeah, I eat multiple times a day too. Actually, well, in Australia, I do. I just can't. I can't eat like enough to eat once a day here in Australia. So I break it up into 3 different meals. But in Japan, the meat is so good and so cheap. It's wonderful. Just go to, and plus, if you go to those all you can eat buffets, they're so cheap. It's cheaper than actually eating at home when you think about the time consuming, like cooking, cleaning, and all that sort of stuff. So 1 meal a day, I'll just go to a restaurant and stuff myself, and that's it. I'm good.
That's awesome.
Yeah, fantastic.
Well, the
Yeah,
chat
that's
is
a good way to do
exploding.
Todd, I saw. Todd, I saw a video with you a while back. I think you said you were going to start doing some resistance training. Is that right?
Yep, I started a little bit. I'm walking a bunch more. I'm doing a little bit of the resistance bands, and then I really just wanted to get down to 400 pounds before I started doing free weights because I don't want to hurt any joints or anything. I'm getting a little bit old to bounce back, And
Yeah.
so I
How
really
old are
wanted
you,
to get
Todd?
down to, oh, go ahead.
How old are you?
I'm 40.
Oh wow, you're so old.
No,
I'm not
David.
that old, but I don't want to. I'm not a 20-year-old anymore, and so I don't want to start hurting joints and stuff. Just because I was so heavy for so long that like I had a knee surgery.
No,
And
that's a good way to start. Bands are fantastic. Yeah, that's what I try and get across to people too. You got to take care of your joints. Make sure your joints, are stable and strong enough before you start doing any sort of like free weight sort of stuff. Bands are a fantastic way to start. But even when you get advanced, like I still use bands now. I use them every day, even in the gym.
I gotcha.
So, yeah, bands are fantastic.
I got one of those shake plates, the things you stand on, because I still have a little bit of swelling, and I'm always trying to open up the lymphatic system. And so you
Yeah.
stand on it, you do resistance bands while you're standing on it, and it's shaking the snot out of you when
Yeah,
you're standing on it. And I don't have enough strength to do a bunch of push-ups, but I like to just put my arms on it and hold my weight like a plank on my arms on the shake
Yeah, that's
plate.
good. Yeah, that'll help your shoulder strength and elbows and wrist.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good thing to do. You can do like just try different angles too for push-ups. Like you don't have to do them from the ground. You can do
Yeah.
them like on the wall to a chair and to a table sort of thing as well. Yeah, they're all
Yeah.
good.
I got a rogue heavy duty weight bench, that's adjustable that I could probably do
Oh, yeah.
push-ups off of.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
if
to
I get
open
down
up
to
your
400
lymphatic
pounds, I'm hoping in a couple of months that I'm going to start doing some real light free weights again and trying to get
Yeah.
those built up.
Yeah. If you want to open up your lymphatic system, try deep breathing exercises.
I've been doing the Wim Hof breathing
Good.
exercises. Actually,
Yeah,
I
that'll
found
really open up your lymphatic system.
his box breathing. I was able to hold my breath for 60 seconds, and if you only knew how ridiculous that is that I could do that. It blows my mind. I went for my whole life without being able to hold my breath for 15 seconds because my oxygen concentration, when I was 18, the best I could get it was 88% concentrate. And I always had terrible lung problems. So the fact that I was able to hold my breath for 60 seconds blew my mind doing the Wim Hof.
I was the same.
box.
I started with 10 seconds, mate. That was it. That's all
It's
I could hold
crazy,
it for.
isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I couldn't even, when I first started, I couldn't even do 30 breaths. I did 15.
Yeah.
I'm sort of tapped out, and then just held my breath for 10 seconds. And I sort of just built it up from there,
That's awesome.
But it doesn't take long, really.
No, I think it was like my second week. I held it for a minute, and I thought this is great. I would have bet anybody of like $1 million that you couldn't have done anything to get me to hold my breath for a minute at that time. It was crazy. Hey, Keith. Kiwi Keith. He's from.
Mate.
He's awesome. He hangs out at the Steak and Butter Gang as well. He's awesome there.
Yeah.
Oh, we're doing
Good
a
night,
show this
Renee.
Sunday with Bella and Bella and Coach Raymond and Coach Emily for anybody that's wanting to find out about priming and that stuff, because we've been getting because me and Lindy, we're not affiliated, like like we just love the program so much we talk about it, and then everybody's wanting to know about it. So Bella and Raymond and Emily are coming on this Sunday
That's
to let
awesome.
everybody know.
Cool. Hello, Arlene. Yes, I do splits depending on the week. I do. This week I did a 3-way split. Like I do, say like back, biceps, and abs in one workout. Today I did shoulders and triceps and abs. The other day I did chest, abs, and I've done 2 leg workouts this week. So each week I'll sort of split it up between groups. Some weeks I like doing conditioning workouts too. So I might do a couple of full body workouts, conditioning. It's where I just do everything, but not so much with just the free weights. A lot of calisthenics as well, and you know, farmers walks, and use sledgehammers and tires and things like that. And depending on how much time I've got, some weeks I might split it up over 6 different workouts. So I might have a solid arm day, a solid back and chest day, or a solid shoulder day, sort of thing, and a solid leg workout day. So it depends on the week, but yeah, I break it up to whatever's not. I like to give each muscle group at least 3 to 4 days rest. Usually works out to about a week, depending on how I can split it up. So, but it depends on recovery. Recovery is quite fast on carnivore as well, because they eat so much meat. So that's been really good.
I got to back up to the Kiwi. Man, I did not realize you super chat me. So I couldn't take super chats until today. Today was the first day I could take super
Wow.
chats. So
very good.
yeah, thank you so
first
much.
one.
Keith.
Well done,
yeah, you
Keith.
are my first super chat. I'm sorry, I would have said something. I didn't think that was me because I'm so used to never not being able to get them. You're
Thank you.
awesome, Keith. Thank you.
Thank you, Sandra. That's very kind of you. I just read that DC is a machine. Thanks for that.
Yeah, he's climbing up invisible walls, I see.
Yeah. If you haven't seen that last video he put out, it was amazing.
Well, it takes a long time, but one step at a time.
Yeah.
Yeah, walking is great, Annabelle. Yeah, walking is very good exercise, but it's good to something people a lot of people's situation, and resistance training is really necessary for many reasons. It's also very good for increasing your insulin sensitivity. Okay, when one of the biggest problems with obesity is that you get intramuscular adipose tissue, which is fat in your muscle cells, and resistance training helps get rid of that as well. Okay, because that adipose tissue causes inflammation and really lowers your insulin sensitivity. It makes it very insulin resistant. So resistance training is really very good for you. Yeah.
So what would you?
All exercise is great because you have to get your lymphatic system healthy. Your lymphatic system needs muscle contraction to push that lymph fluid around your body, which your lymph fluid is where you get where you absorb all your vitamins, minerals, proteins, including collagen for your bones, bone health. Okay. And it carries your white cells, and which develop into T cells later. But it's also the waste system, and it collects the waste from at a cellular level and gets rid of it. So, but to do all that, it needs muscle contraction in your body to push that fluid around and to get rid of the waste as well. So exercise is a great way. Any form of exercise, any exercise that you can do gets your lymphatic system moving. But resistance training is fantastic for getting rid of adipose tissue and increasing your insulin sensitivity.
Nice. Well, I definitely have to work on that because that's my biggest weak link right now is my lymphatic system. I get some fluid buildup like crazy, and so it drives
Yeah.
me nuts how much fluid
Yeah.
I can build up in just like a week, and then I got to spend a lot of time getting it off. Like if I'm not careful.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It takes time, Todd. I mean, yeah, my lymphatic system was shot for many years. Because I started before this or before carnivore and everything. I had I still have follicular lymphoma. Lymphoma cancers always start in the lymphatic system. So
Oh.
All your lymphocytes and everything, your lymph nodes are all tumors, and it's just shot. So, but it can recover.
That's awesome. That's good news for
Yeah.
sure. See ya.
Bye, Annabella. Have a good night.
Hi. Mhm. Hi,
No
Apex.
drugs, Todd. No.
Thanks, Keith. I appreciate it. You're my first super chat.
Uh-huh.
Hello, Apex. Yeah. So, I mean, it just shows you how resilient the body is, though. We've been poisoning ourselves. That's the biggest problem is these damn oils that these machine oils that they label as vegetable oils and things like that. Your lymphatic system doesn't really, it just absorbs fats and it just absorbs these poisons into our bodies. But, it can recover. You just give it the right diet.
Yeah, absolutely. I wonder how much the putrefied, machine oils actually caused all these problems, because it's like,
Oh,
I
absolutely.
can't,
I have no doubt. I mean, it was, been about 100 years since a lot of these were introduced. Soy now being the worst one and the most predominant. It's in absolutely everything, including like store-bought sort of jerky, beef jerky, and things
Mhm.
like that. And so-called health foods. It's everywhere. But like sugar, it keeps you addicted, and the oils do the poisoning. Pretty much.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
Big
they've got
man.
us dying slowly enough that we think we're living.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah, it's absolutely, it feels like it's, it feels like it's almost orchestrated at this point for them to take such a blind eye to what's obvious.
Mhm. I agree.
Yeah. That's I wouldn't say almost.
Right. For sure. I was being nice to the YouTube algorithm.
Hi,
Yeah,
Michael.
that's a whole other platform conversation, that one.
Mhm.
Yeah, we could talk about that for a long time.
Can
Oh,
we
yeah,
address the
well,
question, David?
You
Mr.
didn't
Nice.
Can we address that question from Big Man Alaska?
Yeah,
Sorry,
I'm the carnivore here.
Oh, sorry. Yep. Okay. I'm DC Learning to Live.
bypass carnivore.
I'm Graham, the carnivore transformer.
Very good.
Oh,
Still transforming.
Me and you both, Graham. We're in that boat for sure.
We're all going through it.
Yeah.
David, I'm just gonna pull out the car again.
No worries, mate. I'll see you soon.
Be right back. Be right back.
Okay.
So what do you think? What do you think the best free weight exercises to start out for an absolute, just starting out beginner? I was thinking of just doing some core exercises like kettlebell swings and maybe some shoulder press and maybe bench and squats,
Yeah, I probably wouldn't do the swings. I'd probably build up strength in the joint first. Okay. Yeah, I would keep it very basic, just for if, especially, like going from sedentary to because these muscles and it's not just the muscles that need strengthening, it's the tissue around it, okay, the connective tissue and things like that.
Yeah.
If you go too crazy into like just swinging it, you're going to not just tear muscles, you're going to tear that tissue, and that can be a big problem later on. And you know, it's all about longevity, so just take your time.
So if you had to pick
and-
like 2 or 3 or 4 exercises free weight wise, what would they be for bang for the buck and low impact?
Bang for buck, low impact. Okay, for say example, chest exercise, I would go for incline bench press, or I would use a machine if you can, because it will take away. Using the bar will be a little bit difficult to start with.
So I have one of those. I have one of those Rogue racks that allow so you don't have to use stabilizers. You still have to lift the bar, but it's on tracks.
Oh, okay, like a Smith machine.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're good. Yeah, Smith machine's great, but I wouldn't do too much flat bench to start with. I would start with incline, because you're less prone to injury. Okay, with flat bench, you can very easily tear tissue, but close grip as well. Don't go like super wide, like just
Right.
like
Your shoulder
just,
weight.
just outside your shoulder width is enough. Okay,
Hey.
so that there should be a straight line between your wrist and your elbow.
Yeah, I was always taught, that this finger should be on the outside of your shoulder, and this finger should be like on that mark on the bar, type of thing.
Well, it depends on the bars though too. Some bars are wider, so yeah.
Yeah, true. But
Um,
I think they're trying to say that the index finger should be like right
Yeah.
here on the shoulder, roughly.
Well, it's just an easy way to gauge it is just keep a straight line between the wrist and the elbow, so you're not sort of going too wide. Okay, so straight up like that. It doesn't matter what bar you're on then. Okay, so just a straight line between. You should be good. Elbow, I would not go. Don't go too wide. Okay, elbow wise, try and keep it in a comfortable position. So like on a 45-degree out.
Yeah.
All right, so it's fairly close to the body. All right. And that way you'll avoid any sort of injuries. And to start with, just start with really basic sets. You don't have to go crazy and do like, drop sets and that sort of stuff. So I would just start with like 3 sets of 10 to 15 reps at a 15 RM, like 15 rep maximum sort of set.
Yeah.
It's nothing too heavy.
Yeah, it's going to be real light, especially bench. Bench was my worst one I used to lift. So it's going to be real light for sure.
Yeah, I would just keep it very simple movements to start with. If it's like for legs, do you have a leg press or anything like that?
Not yet, but I can get one. My brother lives 3 minutes from me, and he's got a fully equipped gym. So,
oh, that's good. If you can go to the gym, I wouldn't start off with squats unless you do body weight squats, just no bar, no weight.
That's what I do right now. So I say when I'm on that shake plate, I do like 3 sets of 30 squats on that shake plate. Yeah, just
another thing you can do is add bands to it. Like if you just put the band, like if it's like a loop band, just put it under your feet and then just around the back of your neck to add resistance. That'll give you some weight to resistance as well. Or you can add just a kettlebell squat, something not too heavy. Just build it up from there. And then I would start on maybe some unilateral sort of leg press, just do like 1 leg presses. Okay, just really light stuff, just to get your body moving again. And then maybe even start on some lunges. It's just body weight lunges. Bang for buck.
I was looking at lunges.
Lunges are fantastic.
I was looking at lunges and I was looking at burpees, both of those.
Yeah. Yeah. Burpees are something you can build up to. Yeah. But I wouldn't, I don't get too crazy. It's, I mean, I started from, I mean, after, years and years of chemotherapy and things like that, I couldn't move. I was in bed for so long. You just have to take it really slowly. Try and make sure to try and avoid injuries. You might every now and then you're going to get an injury, like pull a muscle or
Right.
something. That's not a big deal. But you don't want to do anything major like a joint.
Right.
That's going to restrict you later on. So
That's definitely why I'm being careful, because the last, I don't know, 8 years of my life, I stopped pulling muscles and I started hurting joints when I was doing things at work. Like I
yeah.
ended up with tore rotator cuff, and then I ended up having to have knee surgery on my right knee and stuff. And I was like, okay, so
Yeah.
I'm no longer able to just bounce back after them, so I'm just starting wanting to be a little bit gentle with it.
Yeah. Oh, some of the problems, knee surgery sometimes depends on what it is, obviously, but a lot of problems with the knees come mainly because the hamstrings aren't strong enough.
Hmm.
So if you make sure you build up strength in your hamstrings, that will protect your knees, because they actually insert into the front of the knee. And when you do squats, and if you ever get that real sharp pain in the front of your knee, that's actually the insertion point of your hamstrings. Okay.
Okay.
So if you do, for example, if you're doing a leg workout, like even now, I always warm up on hamstring curls, things like, or stiff leg deadlifts. But just building up strength in in the hamstrings will help protect your knees in long term. I would, very basic movements. A leg press would be great. You can start, because a leg press is good because you can start very light.
Yeah.
And I would do body weight lunges. Lunges, bang for buck, are fantastic. Will give you, you use your entire legs. From your glutes. It's a great glute workout, and you need strong glutes to support your hips and your back. And if for any sort of squatting exercises, well, you need to use your glutes.
Yeah.
It's also great for the adductors on the inside of your thighs, okay, and your hamstrings and your quadriceps. So bang for buck, lunges are fantastic.
But I'll start working on those. It'll take me a little while, but to get things stable enough. But yeah, I feel like when I get to 400 pounds, that I'll be in the right range to really start tackling that stuff. And I'm hoping if things keep going in the right direction in the next 60 days, I should be there.
Yeah.
So
another joint to protect is your shoulders. Even anything upper body, I always start with a shoulder warm-up routine that I use with bands. Even now, every day, I'll warm up my shoulders by doing outward rotator cuff exercises, okay, and inward. I also do, overhead, sort of just stretching with the band, just stretching the shoulders out. And
that's gonna be tricky with this one. That's about as high as that one thing wants to go, and that's about as far back as that one wants to go. That was the one I tore.
When you've got your shoulder up, let's lift your arm up there. Okay, now
That's
can you rotate that hand back?
That's about all it's got.
Okay.
That's stuck.
So,
yeah, I don't.
Yeah, that is something you may be able to fix with just rotate it, just outward rotate.
I can. That's about as far back. I can do this, but that's about it. Like yeah.
Can you do that with a band?
Do that with a band?
Yeah, so do that with a band. So just pull that back. Just a very light band, nothing. Just these little small tubular bands, just really light.
I got a few of those. Yeah.
Okay. So just keep doing that. Keep doing that. You'll find that a lot of that is just the muscles that are very tight as well, and they might just be a little bit weak in that area. All
I
right. So
gotcha.
just keep doing that.
Yeah, see, this
Alright.
one goes way back. Well, not way back, but a lot further back. This my left one does. This one just gets stuck. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, give
Well,
that a try. I'd do both shoulders, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bands are fantastic for your shoulders. You know, you can anchor them anywhere. You can do like upright rows, okay, and flip it. You know, like don't just pull it back. Go this way as well. So
Yeah.
go straight out in front, back, and then up.
Okay.
Right? That'll be a great exercise to start with. And before you do, I use that now, even before any sort of upper body workout, just to warm up my shoulders anyway. Something you should do on a daily basis almost.
Yeah, I'll definitely put that in the routine, because I'd like to get more range of motion out of my shoulders for sure.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of mobility issues just come from, you know, the strength of the joint, you know, the muscles and connective tissue around the joints. You know. So.
This would be
All right,
fun.
guys. I didn't mean to ignore everyone. You still there, Diane?
Yep.
Well, if you want to talk about that some more, Todd, anytime, you know, just let me know. We can do a session together or something if you want.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm planning on my New Year's resolution is to start doing core workouts and getting more of that in. And I'm gonna start the new year with like 90 days of Lion too. I've never tried full Lion, so I'm gonna hit that pretty hard and see how that goes. So
yeah, that's good. Well, you know, like part of the Wim Hof method too, you're doing core exercises as well, because there's a lot of muscle groups involved in breathing. A lot of people don't understand it, but there's 5 different muscle groups for your abdominal muscles. Then you've got all your intercostal muscles in between your ribs, and you've got your chest, your lats, and all of that is involved in breathing. You know,
that's true. When I started doing the Wim Hof exercises, I cannot believe how much stuff hurt around my rib cages and in my back and stuff. I'm like, I didn't have any idea you could do that by breathing. Holy
I
cow!
know, right?
Yeah, and
David's a good. David's a good personal trainer, Todd. If you want to chat with him,
Oh yeah,
that kind of stuff. Oh yeah, he's real good at that.
Yeah, once I get there, I'll definitely, because I've already been thinking about it. I'm like, I need to do something, but I don't know. I just want like 4. I know me, if it gets too complicated and I have too many things to remember, then it's gonna make it hard. So I'm like, I just want to do like 3 or 4 basic things each day, and then add like every 6 weeks or 8 weeks or something, add something as I'm getting stronger, so I can make it a routine instead of overloading myself.
another, if you, I don't know how long you've been doing the breathing, but another thing you can do while you're doing, that 15 seconds at the end of the 30-second, like that's, you do a 30-second hold, and then you do 15 seconds, you breathe in at the end of the Wim Hof method. The 15 seconds, they breathe in deep and hold. Okay, when you do that hold, squeeze all your abdominal muscles, like from the base, from your pelvic floor. Squeeze them as tight as you can. Like pull your belly button in and up, and then squeeze your ribs, squeeze your chest, and then squeeze your neck. Yeah.
So I have one issue. This I should have probably led with this too when I was asking about lifting, but I have a pretty good hernia that I'm looking forward to getting sewn together. Okay. And so I have right there, I don't know, from my belly button up about 6 inches, it kind of ripped open. And so I got to be careful when I'm squeezing right there, because it pushes stuff out.
Yeah.
So I have to be careful. Yeah.
Just do it to the level that you're comfortable in. It's not like, I mean, you don't have to push yourself too hard.
For sure. I'm planning on next, pretty much a year from today almost. When I'm planning on getting skin surgery, and I'm hoping they can sew up put the patch in there and fix that hernia, so that I can just so I can do like more sit-ups and planking and stuff. Right now, it's
Yeah.
pretty uncomfortable because it puts a big bulge of stuff in my navel that's not very comfortable when that happens.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, I had a lot of stomach ulcers at one stage too, so it's pretty hard.
It's weird. I don't know if
Yeah.
it's dangerous or not. It doesn't feel that bad. It just feels weird and uncomfortable when it's happening.
Yeah, fair enough. Graham had to run. He had to do some things, so we'll say goodbye to Graham and
Oh,
see
see
him
you,
next
Graham.
time.
Lindy, were you
Oh, where's Diane
talking?
Oh, here
Lindy,
he
were
is.
you?
Where's Diane gone? What are you doing, Graham?
I was just say why I didn't say goodbye. I must say goodbye.
Oh,
Yeah.
we lost bypass.
We lost Diane. Yeah, I don't know where she's going.
Huh.
Yeah, I have to run. Family just getting ready, so yeah, I have to take my
Oh, here we
daughter
go.
to
I
work.
think Lindy's coming in. Lindy, are you
Yeah.
coming in?
Yeah, Lindy said she also wants to come in, and I think Todd, you have another super chat. Sandra
Oh, no way.
McDowell. There we go. I think you got
Holy
another one.
Yeah.
Holy
Jeez,
cow,
Todd,
thank
you're
you
doing
much.
well today, mate.
Wow, thank you, Sandra. That's so amazing. I sure appreciate you so much. That's crazy. You're my second super chat ever.
Awesome.
I gotta start training my mind to watch for those because when I'm on lives, I never think those are me. Oh boy.
Yeah.
That's Kiwis,
Kiwis
Robert, even though we
rocking.
live in Australia.
Is
Thank you
that,
so much.
did they say oi oi? What is that word, David? Oi oi?
Oi, oi.
Oh,
Yeah,
is it,
Aussie,
am I
Aussie,
right?
Aussie. Oi, oi, oi.
There we go.
Lindy's
Yeah, they
husband,
do that.
well, Lindy and her husband have been showing me, what is it, Aussie rules football?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's a that's been a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, it's a strange game, isn't it?
It's so mind-boggling to me because it's like so many different sports in one. When I saw him dribble the football,
Yeah.
it blew my mind. Like you can't dribble a football.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it takes
so
an
what do you
act. Yeah.
what do you
Much
think of
harder than a
rugby?
basketball.
Todd? Rugby.
Oh, it looks amazing. I think in fact there's kind of a big debate in the US if they want to go toward more like rugby and less with the pads because those guys are getting concussion syndrome because they think they're padded and so they can hit so hard that they're it's causing some really bad problems because they're going like helmet to helmet and stuff and they're not being careful at all. And but I watch rugby, but yeah, rugby, those guys are in such good shape. It's watch that sport. I'm like, it makes me tired watching it.
There's a few concussion problems in rugby too, though.
Is there?
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot
So
of
it's-
concussions
Obviously
happening.
chest issues, heart
Yeah,
issues
I
and
bet.
stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean,
So if
how do you not I just imagine all those guys go home and just sit in a bath of ice for 2 days solid, you know?
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I used to play.
after the game, straight in the locker room and straight into an ice bath. Yeah, help recover
Uh-huh.
fast.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think I got 10
here's
minutes.
Diane.
So
There
Diane
she
is
is.
back.
Hey, we lost you for a minute.
She was playing around just like me.
I think your microphone's muted again, Diane.
Oh, sorry.
You're right.
I had to step away.
That's fair enough. Yeah, we've been going for a couple of hours now, so I can understand that.
I know. For any of you that don't know, we're going to be on again tomorrow.
Yeah.
For
We're going to
sure.
be on.
Yeah.
Good night,
And
Arlene.
everybody.
Good
Good night.
night.
Have a good night.
Have a good sleep.
I thought Lindy was joining us.
I think we got in the middle of a conversation she was having because she's got a cold right now and she almost has no voice right now. That's
Oh,
why. Yeah, she texted me and said, "No, I didn't mean tonight." Because she goes, "I'm squeaking right now. I don't have a voice. I'm
Okay.
hoping to heal
Oh,
up." So yeah, I think we caught her in the
Yeah.
middle of a different conversation there.
oh,
maybe that's Sunday, something like that. Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all right.
I thought
So-
you were leaving, Graham.
Yeah, soon. They're
Oh,
still getting
you're already gone.
they're still getting ready. I'm halfway ready, but I'm good to go anytime. It's just this.
What time tomorrow?
Well, tomorrow,
I think
don't
so.
know, it
Should
was
look
the
good
same
tomorrow,
time.
don't you?
I don't know
Same
what time you started here. I can't remember. A couple hours.
For me, it's 5 o'clock a.m.
I think it
So
was around 3:30 when we started, wasn't it? For on your time.
that's David. David was 2:30.
No, I started just after 1 o'clock my time.
So it's 1 o'clock. Yeah,
Yeah,
he
it's now
always show.
3:20.
Yeah.
Uh,
There
There's
we go.
Vitali as well.
Yeah.
Vitali has joined the stream.
Oh, right on.
hey, Vitaly, how you doing?
There we go.
How you going, brother?
That's Vitali as well. He also has basically did carnivore, had blood clots. I think his main
Ooh.
issue
Yeah,
was
that's
blood clots and being obese.
Mhm.
So yeah, that's his story, but he can come tell it himself. But like I said, he's enjoying Thanksgiving. So happy Thanksgiving, Vitali.
Yeah.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, that's good. Have a good one, mate. Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully tomorrow he'll be on. I'll send him an email as well.
So when do you break your fast, Todd?
Oh, I'm gonna probably 10 a.m. tomorrow, so I got about 12 hours. I'm about about 24 and a half hours into it right now.
Okay.
So I
You're
just
counting every hour.
I try to I want to hit at least 36 every time I do skip a day. So I want to make sure I get to at least 36 and more if I can, So, and then after this, because right now I do 2 mad and then I skip a day, 2 mad, skip a day. So it depends on when I had that second meal the day before I skipped where I start again. But then after 5 of these in a row, so it'll be 10 days, then I go to OMAD and skip a day, and that'll be a 48-hour fast. So it'll go from 36 to 48. So I'm going to do those next. So
Okay.
it's kind of a way of feathering it in there, but in between those, you do like a 3-2 mad in a row, so that you can kind of reprime. So you got some, so you kind of ramp up your metabolism again, and then go back into the fast. It works a lot better than just fasting for doing OMADs for 9 months or whatever. That really did slow down my metabolism. I was pretty surprised about that.
You have to load. Yeah, you have to
Yeah.
load before a fast. It doesn't matter how long, especially if you haven't fasted for it before, you have to load first. Do you take anything while you're on the fast, like electrolytes or anything like that?
I do take electrolytes, but I try not to. I'm trying to do so every other one, I don't get it done every time, but I'm trying to do a dry fast even on my 36-hour fast, because then it really taps into the body fat to get some fluid, right? And so it's been pretty amazing, the dry fast. So like my last 36-hour fast was a dry fast. That was kind of tough up until like the 22-hour mark, and then it got pretty easy after that. I stopped being thirsty because I drink a lot. But no, I try to drink my electrolytes before the fast. So I take a version of LMNT, but it's actually Dr. Berg's electrolytes. But I get 4,700 milligrams of potassium the day before the fast. So on my 2-mad day, I make sure I get a lot of electrolytes in. And then I try not to take any electrolytes. I still do take my amino acids. I'm not sure if the amino acids break your fast or not, but I like them. And
Yeah,
so,
no, I wouldn't think so. I mean, it's pretty much just feeding your muscle tissue. So,
yeah,
I don't think it'd break your fast in any way.
yes. So I just do water and amino acids on fast days right now, and I haven't had anything to drink but water in 11 months, so that's not a big deal.
No, that's
But
good.
yeah.
I just stick to salt, actually, just a good mineral salt. I don't take any other form of electrolytes.
Yeah.
So that's all
When
I
I
really
was
need.
when I was first starting keto or carnivore, well, I started keto and then I turned into a ketovore and went to carnivore. But when I was first in that realm, trying to get deep into ketosis, the electrolytes were key for me. For whatever reason, I just felt way better with electrolytes, and it's so weird because there's such a debate on that, and some people say you don't need them, some people say you do. For me, I can tell you, it definitely helped me. Like
Yeah, well, in that respect, I mean, we're all different we just adjust differently, you know. That's
yeah,
all. Yeah.
for sure.
So, and we're all coming from a different place. I mean, yeah, we all need the same sort of diet, like species specific diet, like carnivore, but coming from the standard Western sort of diet, we all adjust differently, you know.
For sure. Yeah. And yeah, for sure. And it's so fantastic. Like, I still like to take certain supplements, and I get people, some carnivores give me a little hard time on that, but I take them because I feel better. I take like vitamin B1, D3, and K2. And I like to take the C-Calp for the iodine. Those things, I feel better when I'm taking them, you know?
Well,
So,
of course, I mean, vitamin D is one of the most essential vitamins you need for your body for all sorts of reasons. Okay, for one, it helps recovery, and for everything, you know, like from sunburn, actually it protects you from sunburn. Your recovery is much faster with you have a lot of vitamin D, but it also helps with all your vitamins and minerals and protein absorption. Okay, so it's repairing your lymphatic system. Vitamin D is essential.
oh, wow.
And for many other reasons, but the source of your vitamin D is really important. If you can get it from sunlight, that is the best way, because your body will absorb it much better, much easier. When it comes to supplements, a lot of supplements like pills that just break down in your stomach acid and you really don't absorb anything. And one way to help absorption is to eat it as taken with a very fatty meal, so that the lipids can actually help protect it till it get to the digestive tract.
But see, this is one of the big points about this amino acid therapy is these guys, these doctors that are all bought into the amino
Graham
acid
is
therapy.
muted. You're muted, Graham. You go.
I know. I'm muted. Bye.
Oh, see ya.
Bye.
See you, buddy.
See you, Graham.
again. Okay.
All right. Take care, mate.
See ya. Have a good one, Graham.
Okay. Thanks. Bye.
Bye, Natasha. All right, you were
But
saying,
yeah,
Todd?
But yeah, I don't know. I will see. But these doctors that are talking about the amino acid therapy, that like they're all in on this. That's one thing that they bring up, is that if you do this amino acid therapy and you get kind of primed with amino acids, that you'll start absorbing more dietary, like if you're taking supplements or your dietary, meat and amino acids and fats and everything from the food you're eating. They say that helps process it. It is really crazy, I gotta say, and I'm hoping that that's working. But yeah, I know what you're saying, and that's why he gets a bad name too. But I don't like. I just do it because I started taking them and I felt the difference. But I take Dr. Berg's vitamins because he says that none of them are synthetic and they are fresh. Like, I guess from what I read, that if you have some old vitamins that they don't make within a certain period of time, they can lose their ability to absorb or whatever. But yeah, I definitely get you there. But my point was with these people that are they tell me, oh, vitamins and supplements do nothing for you. But I promise you, when I take vitamin B1, vitamin D, D3, K2, and I take iodine, I feel it's become like my new coffee in the morning. Like I take that in the morning to wake up my mind and feel good and just be awake and like my brain working. And I miss it like I would miss caffeine, like I used to miss caffeine or something in the day. It
of
has
course.
a real effect
Yeah.
on me.
Well, you must be getting something. So, if you feel good on it, I wouldn't stop. I wouldn't change it.
Yeah.
Obviously, depends on the quality. I'm talking like generally speaking,
Yeah.
depends on like off the shelf sort of supplements, and a lot of them, you see that they're not really they're not really they don't really have to go through any sort of intense process to sell these supplements either.
Right.
A lot of it's very general. So as long as it has like even the minute number, a bit of this vitamin in the supplement, they can
Yeah.
sell it as that supplement. So it just depends. I mean, you have to get a really good quality one
Yeah.
that hopefully is either lipid or water soluble, and if you eat it with a fatty meal, will help with the absorption into the lymphatic system.
When I take all my supplements in the morning, I eat a can of cod livers.
Yeah,
You
that'll
know.
help. Yeah, that'd be
Yeah.
great. Yeah. So, all right. So technically, taking amino acids does break a fast. I think Janet, what he's talking about is the effects of the fast, because the fast is basically to help your body start relying on just the fat stores. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Um,
And so I guess what I'd have to do to kind of find out with me personally is like go and take a what do you call it? Like a blood sugar, like see if I have a like an insulin response from it, right?
yeah,
Because
that
that
would
might
be
be
one
one
way
way.
to check on it.
Yeah.
Depends on, again, like depends on the quality of these amino acids you're taking as well. Like as long as there's no like artificial sweeteners and flavorings and that sort of stuff, I think you're going to be pretty right.
Yeah. No, this one here, this stuff is brutal. This one tastes straight up like stomach acid. Like it is so, and
Yeah,
this is just a raw powder that I
yeah,
take, and I take like I take like 3 tablespoons of this at a time, put it under
yeah,
my tongue to dissolve, and it's like straight up stomach acid. You've tasted amino
yeah,
acids where they all taste like stomach acid.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, yeah. Again, depends on your quality of supplements, of course, but I don't think
Yeah.
that would break a fast, or certainly not the effects of a fast. Look, it might not. It might make you feel like you're not hungry, but it won't. It won't. I don't think it will affect the
Yeah.
way it's
It
working.
definitely makes me feel like I'm not hungry because I was surprised to find out that aminos are one of those things, one of those targets that your brain looks for satiety. And
Yeah.
so the more, yeah, and so that was
Well, that's
surprising,
why. Yeah, that's why meat associates us so well, because meat is full of branched chain amino acids.
right? Yeah, so it's been fantastic, and yeah, I guess we'll see. But you know what? What it convinced me that it wasn't breaking my fast is I don't know if you guys get this, but I get keto breath. Like when I'm in when I my body's burning body fat, like I get that nasty film on the roof of my mouth, and I can tell when I'm deep into a fast when I've got that nasty film and that funny breath from burning
Yeah.
ketones. You know.
Yeah. How about you, Dwayne? Do you take any supplements?
I take D3 and iron. I can't think. There's a couple of them I take because of having the gastric bypass.
Yeah.
Because we don't absorb like a normal person would absorb.
Yeah.
I am curious. I've been sitting here listening to this amino acid thing. I haven't really looked into that.
I'll
Yeah,
have a lot
that's
more
good.
information here shortly. We're kind of the coaches over at SBG and they've been showing us kind of the ropes on it. So I'm hoping to learn a lot from them here in the next few 3 to 4 weeks on it, and probably going to have some speakers and stuff to get to listen to, but to kind of learn more about it. But right now, some of us are just trying it out. just to see if it, you know, what kind of effects it has. What got me on the thing was I was eating, you know, I was priming and I was waiting to gain weight on priming because you're supposed to gain a little bit of weight on priming. I mean, I was putting down 6,000 calories of eggs and beef and butter a day trying to, you know, get up. And I didn't. I lost weight. But then when I was on the 2-med, which is me kind of shaving down, I started on the amino acid therapy. And I gained weight like crazy that 2.5, 3 weeks. I put a ton of weight on, like 17 pounds, but it wasn't on the outside. It was, and that was kind of what these guys talk about. Some of the signs on amino acid therapy, you'll put on like lean tissue, like bones, organs, white tissue starts to heal, and you don't see where the weight's coming. And this is what really tripped with me because I was up and down ladders and working real hard this weekend. And I went and got on the scale because I thought I must have lost a bunch of weight because I felt so good. I felt lighter, stronger. Like these things sound dumb to a lot of people, but to me, I was so big for so long that I take small steps because I have a balance issue and stuff. But all of a sudden, I just noticed I was able to like step over the dog without losing stability, and just things like my range of motion was so much bigger. I was getting on the ground playing with the dog. This came out of nowhere, right? And I'd been doing this 2-med and amino acid therapy. I thought I lost a bunch of weight because I was feeling so much more agile and had so much better balance. I got on the scale and I'd gained like 22 pounds. And it's
From
like
taking the amino acids?
I think so. I think it was. Now, some of it was fluid and I got it off and I got all the fluid off. And right now I'm sitting at about 17 pounds of near as I can tell, lean muscle mass. I've not.
It'll be lean mass mostly. Yeah, you might build up fluid because that's one of your problems though too, isn't it? You quite often build up fluid, but usually amino therapy will actually give you lean tissue. That's what your muscles feed on, you know.
Well, and not to be a jerk, but these arms they filled out of nowhere and just got solid. You know, this used to be all squish, and now it's not. You know,
mine's still squished.
Well, that's what I was talking about before is adipose tissue, you know, like intramuscular adipose tissue. There's fat inside the muscle cell, okay?
Yeah.
In the muscle fiber, okay? So resistance training helps get rid of that. But immunotherapy will also help because it helps clear out that adipose tissue. And your muscles feed on that. That's what your muscle, when you eat a steak, that's what your muscles are feeding on, you know, these amino acids, you know. So that's why so that's the muscle tissue itself will thicken up, it will get stronger, and it's not just muscle tissue as well, it's the connective tissue. Connective tissue will also get stronger.
I feel like that's what happened, right? Because I was able to take bigger steps and step over the dog, and I was just had better range of motion. You know what I mean? Like, just I felt more stable and you know, like I could play. Like I even went out in the garage, you know, and I'm still, you know, 480 pounds right now, and I was jump roping. You know, like that was nuts. Good. You know, like excellent. I didn't have that strength 4 months ago. You know.
Yeah. I mean, I still take amino acids when I'm training, when I'm exercising. I have amino acids with before, during, and after training. Okay, it helps recovery and also keeps you going throughout, you know, exercise session. I mean, this is what feeds our muscle tissue and our connective tissue and our bone tissue. In this is what we're getting out of steak. You know, it's really good to do.
I got you. Well, I'm definitely going to be letting you know how it's working. I'm excited. I forget so I got these aminos, which is Anabol Naturals Amino Balance is what I got. It's got 23 free-form amino acids, dietary supplement, 500 grams, 1.1 pounds, crystal powder or crystalline powder. But everybody that was taking it said they had pretty good response out of that. But there was another one that they had a better response in. I'm trying to remember what it is. Michael, or if you're watching, do you remember what the supplement was called? Or Lindy, I think you ordered it too.
Yeah, she said she did.
Yeah. I forget what brand name that was. I think it was called Essential essential aminos or something. It's a blue bottle, but everybody perfect aminos.
Perfect
Yep.
aminos. Yeah.
Yep. So we just me and Lindy ordered those, and everybody's saying they're having a way better result out of the perfect amino brand. So
You get that off of Amazon or what?
no, they gave me a link for it. It was not cheap. It was like $150 for 600 tablets, but and I'm
You can get cheaper forms of powder. It depends. If you have a look around, I mean,
yeah, this
you
one
know,
was
like,
a lot cheaper. This one was like $70 for a ton.
yeah.
That's still a lot.
Well, this
Yeah.
one had 400. This one had 400 servings in it, though.
If you have
And
a
how
look
often do
at
you take them?
even supplements websites like for bodybuilders and things like that, you know, you can get the same amino acids from there too. So it might be a cheaper alternative for you to have a look at.
For sure.
If you look at if you look at some of these therapy sort of websites, a lot of them, they're going to really overcharge for the same product. You can really get the same stuff from you know, like a bodybuilding sort of supplement website as well.
Totally. Yeah, I'll definitely tell you if there's a, you know, if the perfect aminos don't make a difference, you know, from the ones that are half the price, I'll definitely be telling you, because I'll be mad if they don't.
Okay, with just eat more steak. You know, that's pretty much all you can do. If you don't want to buy the supplements, just eat more steak. Beef. That's what we're sort of getting out of the steak. Is, you know, you get amino acids, the branched chain amino acids. You get and creatine and things like that. You get out of beef. All these supplements are just because you don't usually eat that enough beef to get those things out of it, you know, because we don't generally eat all day long, sort of thing. And we're coming from a place at the moment, like a lot of us, we're all coming from a place where you've spent a whole lifetime on the standard Western diet. And I mean, there's a big difference between if you were raised on meat, and at this point, you wouldn't need these supplements at all, because you would be healthy, strong, and you would get everything you need from that meat. But the problem is, right now, most of us are coming from a point where we've spent our lifetime on the Western diet, very in a either sedentary state, obese state, or just an unhealthy state completely, that we need to supplement along the way, you know. So eventually we'll get to the point where we don't need any of that, hopefully.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying too, because that's not my argument, but that's my comment to people that tell me that I shouldn't need supplements or, you know, anything but the meat. I'm like, I agree with you if I wouldn't have spent 38 years eating garbage, you know.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, I need to.
I mean, if you're fit and healthy, yeah, you wouldn't need to,
right?
You know, and if you were just on, you know, like 5-10 years of, you know, carnivore at least, then yeah, you certainly wouldn't need to. But you know, it depends on where you are coming from, where you are at now. Sometimes you just might need to supplement there. That's not a big deal.
No, I don't think so. And that's all I'm saying. I'm like, because I end up kind of defending my position sometimes for taking vitamin D3 and stuff. And I'm like, look, I believe that you could be completely sustained on carnivore. I'm just saying I put myself in such a deficit from having such a terrible diet for so long that I feel like this is helping me get to my goals quicker. So I'm just going to do it, you know?
Yeah, of course it will. I mean, another thing is, like, you're eating a lot of eggs. If you're still eating a lot, you get vitamin D3 from eggs as well. So I won't need to over supplement too much, depending on what you eat.
I'm going to keep doing that. Like, we're obviously right now I'm skipping every other day of eating. And so when I do eat, I can't eat 36 eggs in 2 meals. I can only eat about 24 in 2 meals. So I'm eating less now that I'm doing 2 meals a day. but I'm going to continue to do that, and then I'm getting a blood test in January because January 1st is my 1 year carnivore anniversary. So I want to get a blood test and see how my testosterone's doing, and then I'm gonna, once I have that baseline number of what my new testosterone number is, I'm gonna do lion diet for 90 days because I've been very curious about it. Which of course at that point I won't be eating any eggs. But I want to do that for 90 days and then get another blood test. And I want to see what that blood test says because on my testosterone, because right now, whatever improvements, which I'm sure there's been a lot, I won't know that it was the eggs versus just going carnivore because the last time I had my blood test taken, I was 715 pounds and eating a terrible diet. So when I had low testosterone, so I won't know. Obviously, my testosterone's improved greatly, but I won't know if it was carnivore or the eggs, or what one was responsible. So I'm gonna keep eating the eggs, get a blood test, and then I'm gonna
I'd say it'd
do.
be a combination. I mean, this is something people don't understand either. It's like it takes a combination to get to where you are. Like it takes a combination of things to make you sick, right?
Yeah,
It's not any one thing, right? But it's going to take a combination of things to get you healthy as well.
for sure.
You know? So, you can't just say like all I'm going to eat now is just steak. Some people just can't do that from their situation. So it takes a combination of things to get healthy again.
Yeah. I know I can do the lion diet because literally that's basically what I did for 9 months, other than I had eggs because I was trying to get it in there, and I was allowing myself to eat bacon, but I don't know. I don't have like into all the carnivores. I'm not saying don't eat bacon. I'm just saying I feel better eating beef. So I look forward to eating beef more because I feel like a superhuman when I eat beef. I just kind of feel blasé when I eat pork. I don't know why, but it's the truth. So I'm looking forward
it
to it.
depends on the pork quality as well. Some some pork doesn't get fed very well stuff. Very good food either. So
Yeah.
I like bacon. I like taking, and as far as I'm concerned, if you put bacon in front of a lion, he's gonna eat it.
Oh, for sure.
So,
For sure. Yeah.
same
No,
with
and
fish. And people say that's not lion diet is just steak and nothing else. Like, okay, well, like if you put fish in front of a lion, he's gonna eat it. You put bacon in front of it, he's gonna eat it. So
yeah.
Yeah.
No, I agree. I agree. I'm only doing this because I'm a huge Jordan Peterson fan. And he does basically meat, basically steak.
I love that guy
beef
too.
salt.
He's amazing.
Yeah.
Jordan
So
Peterson is amazing.
Oh, he is. He's awesome. He's out of all the people that I would meet that are living today, he'd be the dude.
Yeah, I would. If there was one person living today that you could talk to or sit down and have a meal with, he'd be one.
Yeah, for sure. He's my top on that list for sure. The guy's amazing.
Yeah.
But so I just want to try it and see for 90 days. I just want to see what it feels like and see, because I know how good if I eat a good quality rare beef, or if I eat a good quality raw salmon, I feel like a superhuman when I'm done eating. I get so much energy and my muscles feel good. It's crazy how good I feel on those foods.
Yeah, raw fish is fantastic actually. When I'm in Japan, it's everywhere. It's so fresh. I get it straight from the market, and just it's lovely. It's really just feels great afterwards. Just after eating it, you just feel really vibrant.
You feel good. Like it's almost like you almost have a euphoric feeling. I try to tell everybody because I try to explain it, but my muscles, when you wake up in the morning and you stretch and your muscles feel fantastic when you're stretching them in the morning.
Yeah.
That's how I feel after eating a really good quality raw salmon. That's how I feel.
Yeah. Raw. I love raw tuna. But there's one in Japan I love. It's a really nice, rich red meat. It's katsuo. I'm not sure what the English name is, but katsuo is absolutely amazing.
Wow.
Yeah. It's really rich red, and it's I don't know. It's just really it's quite fatty, which is also really good. But it just feels fantastic after eating.
You know what's crazy about those, the really, like, if you go to a really good sushimi restaurant that has really good fresh raw fish, they don't taste fishy at all.
No, not at all. No,
No.
and it doesn't smell either. you
Nope.
know? Like if you
No,
go to a
it's
supermarket here in Australia, like the seafood, it stinks. Like you can't,
it does.
like
Yeah,
you can't
that's like
bear walking through it because
no,
it's not fresh.
Yep.
It's disgusting. But
It is.
you know,
My whole life I thought I hated fish until I
Yeah.
went to a really good quality sushimi restaurant. None of their fish smell or taste like fish,
bonito. Bonito is the name of the fish in English. The katsuo
Bonito.
is bonito fish, really good. Yeah, like in Japan, it doesn't smell at all. You go to a supermarket, go to a sushi shop, go anywhere, it does not smell at all.
Right? Yeah.
So I'm just wondering, like, how old and disgusting is the seafood in the supermarkets here?
Right. It's so gross. I mean, it just stinks in there. Yeah, I know. I know what you mean.
It reeks.
It's great. Yep.
How about you, Dwayne? You ever have raw fish?
No.
Huh?
Nope.
I know it sounds gross, but it actually is super delicious. It's crazy how good it is.
Really good. Yeah,
Mhm.
especially if you've got like I know people probably not going to like that, but fresh, real what is it called? Wasabi.
Yeah, I love that.
That-
The good,
yeah.
the
Not
real
that-
fresh wasabi root, not the
Yeah,
paste
yeah,
crap.
real.
Yeah.
Yeah, not that. Yeah, that stuff in the tube you get, that's not even wasabi, like that really spicy stuff. It's horseradish
Yep.
with a heap of coloring and that sort of crap in it. But the real wasabi is it's really mild actually, and it just smells and tastes really just so fresh. It's
Yep.
really nice.
It is. That's my and don't get me wrong, I love horseradish too, but yeah, the real wasabi
Yeah,
root
not
that
with
they grind.
not with colorings and flavors and shit in it.
No, not with the junk in it. Nope.
So going back to the amino acid you guys were talking about, if I can, the when you were saying that it's good for muscles and connective tissue and all that, would that include like the cartilage between the bones?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. There's a branched chain amino acids. They are the building blocks of our body. Okay, they are the building blocks of all the tissue in your body. That's why meat is so important for us, because it helps regenerate. It helps us regenerate our bodies. All right. So amino acids and branched chain amino acids. This is what our body is craving for when we're looking for meat and things like that.
Yeah.
So if the discs and stuff are degenerating, like I was telling you earlier, and the opening is getting more and more narrow, would that eventually, can you make that opening
Well, I mean, I couldn't say. Yeah, I couldn't. I don't think anyone could say for sure. But I think that, I mean, it could only help. It's not going to make it worse, that's for sure. So I wouldn't, like I'd certainly give it a try. Spacing between like vertebrae and things like that, exercise is also very good for. But again, I mean, I would at least give it a try. It's not going to do any harm, and you're certainly feeling better on steak, on carnivore diet.
Right.
So I mean, if you can, I would certainly give it a try.
Okay.
I'm addicted to trying things for a while, for like 90 days, and see what happens, because
Well, it's good,
Oh, hers just arrived.
There she
You'll have
is.
to let me know how that goes.
Yeah, I will. I'll definitely let you know. Because I just I believe that I used to think all this stuff was wives' tales and stuff, but what the reality was, I was such a dumpster fire of a metabolic, metabolic disease back then that there was you weren't going to take some vitamin C and some, vitamin D and feel better because you couldn't overcome the mass stuff. But now that I'm eating so clean, I'm no sugar, no carbs, no caffeine, got rid of the nicotine, got rid of everything. And everything's so clean that now I love to reintroduce the supplements and stuff, and I'll know if it's having a real effect or not. I do it for 90 days.
Yeah.
It's a keeper. If it doesn't, I toss it, and I just move on. So
Well, that's how we do it.
Yeah.
So
I started doing grounding therapy, and I was surprised how much that helped my sleep. It was real. Like I didn't even know that was a real thing,
Yeah. I mean, just, who knew like deep breathing would, just learning how to breathe properly helps,
Right.
But it's a good thing to try things, you never know until you try it. And, again, to also break up plateaus if you're having trouble like losing weight, even on the carnivore diet, just try something new.
Yeah.
For sure. No, so I'll definitely try. The next things on my list is I'm getting set up to have you heard of exercise with oxygen therapy? It's called EWOT therapy.
Yeah.
I really want to try that when I'm healthy enough. When I'm light enough, I want to start doing sprints because of the growth hormones and the stem cell,
Yeah, sprints are very good.
Yeah, and so I want to do that, and I want to incorporate with the EWOT therapy, breathing in that 900 liters of oxygen, and I think that'll be a really good combination.
Yeah. There's a couple of different ways you can do that as well. Is like if you breathing in pure oxygen, okay, these tanks will oxygenate the blood, so it'll raise your VO2. What athletes do, a lot of professional athletes, especially cyclists, like throughout Europe, they live at high altitudes because it increases their hemoglobin, which increases their VO2 max. Okay. Another way to do that though is, sometimes they sleep in like a hyperbolic chamber. Okay. But you can also exercise with a mask on. This is not something I really recommend, but it does have the similar effect. It will raise hemoglobin and will raise your VO2 max, which means that your body will notice the restriction, and afterwards, when you're recovering, it will increase oxygen flow in the blood as you're breathing in. You take away that restriction. So like if you do sprints with a mask on, for example, and you're restricting that breathing, that will also increase hemoglobin, which also increases the oxygen uptake, which will increase your VO2 max. But this is not something I would recommend for general, just people just trying to get healthy. If you and things like sprints, also the sprints. There's a number of ways you can do sprints. For you, Todd, I would recommend doing it on a bicycle because it takes away the impact. Okay, so you're not going to have so much. You're not going to have so much impact on your knees and your hips.
Right.
Okay? Especially like at your weight, if you go outside and start sprinting, when you are doing any sort of plyometric or running sort of exercise, so 400 pounds will be like, almost, probably 5 times that on each joint, on each step. Okay. So you can do a fair bit of damage, like your feet, your ankle, your knees, your hips. So I would recommend get, those fan bikes that with the hand.
Elliptical.
Yeah.
I know the ones you're talking about. They're not the Pelotons, but the other ones, the extreme bikes or whatever.
Yeah, extreme something. But they've got like a fan, and you move your hands and arms back and forward, and as well as the pedals. Do sprints. Like if you do, say, a 10-minute workout, try and get in as many 20-second sprints as possible.
Right.
In that 10 minutes. So like start off, you might even just start off with like 2 or 3, and then just as long as you keep pedaling that whole 10 minutes. So you do a 20-second sprint and then rest for a minute or two, depending on how much you need, and then build it up from there. So try and increase that to as many sprints as you can inside that 10-minute period.
I think it'll be kind of, and I think it'll be kind of short. So the protocol that I read about that I really thought made a lot of sense to me that was interesting was they talked about doing sprints, but like, let's say that you sprint for 10 seconds. That you get your baseline before you sprint. You take a baseline pulse and oxygen reading before you go, and then you sprint for 10 seconds, and then when you get off, you start counting down a 60-second clock, and they want you to recover in 60 seconds. And then if you don't, they want you to back it down and only sprint for 7 seconds. Or if you recovered in 35 seconds, they want you to go for 15 seconds. And basically, they want you to sprint until you just barely recover at 60 seconds of rest, and then do as many of those as you can. Like they want you to do at least 6 sets of those. But
I mean, the result ends up the same. So it's also a good idea to mix up the sprint time as well. So like if you do a 10-second sprint and then rest, and then next do a 20-second sprint, and then next do a 30-second sprint, like you're not going to be it's not going to be for the 30 seconds or 20 seconds, it's not going to be 100% effort. It's just going to be as much as you can do in that time. All right, but just push it as much as you can. It's not going to be 100% like you would in a 10-second sprint, but you'll still get the same effect. And then you back it off and rest it. So either way, it doesn't really matter.
I gotcha.
But it doesn't have to be any longer than a 10-minute session, really.
Yeah, well, and I'm going to start off a little bit easy. The only reason why I like that protocol about recovery and seeing it is because I'm always a little bit nervous, because when I started this, I'd gotten COVID a year ago, and I had scarring in my lungs from COVID, and I had congestive heart failure from COVID. And so I don't think I'm having any problems with any of it, because all the heart pain and the palpitations and everything went away after keto. I think it's all gone. Like I don't take any of the medications or the oxygen anymore. So I think it's gone.
Did you take the
no, heck no. No, there's not enough.
So you should be pretty safe then.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, there's not enough people to hold me down to take that thing.
Right? I agree.
Damn straight.
Yeah. No, sir.
Yeah,
but no, so I think I'm fine. Like I think I recovered, it's only been, 11 months of carnivore, but so I think I'm fine, but I definitely want to get just as soon as my legs feel stronger. The exercise bike makes a big difference, because that's why I've been kind of waiting. I'm just wanting my ankles and my knees and hips and everything to feel a little bit more stable and stronger.
Yeah. Well, the bike would make a big difference.
Yeah. Right now, I just walk on a treadmill. I do the shake plate, and I find that the shake plate is really helping me with stabilizer muscles. It's giving me a lot more balance. And then I'm planning on just slowly building it up. I'm finding that these are sustainable things if I just build a little bit at a time,
Yeah, that's how you got to do it. I mean, I was the same. I couldn't move for so long. You just have to take baby steps, and you'll get there eventually. I keep saying to people, you don't have to look at the end. You don't have to look at the end goal to sort of. It can be a little bit overwhelming. So just focus on that next step. Do what you can, and then you'll find that you can do a little bit more the next time. So
Absolutely.
Just keep going with that.
And I always said, I always was in a hurry before my whole life. I was big my whole life, like I was 600 pounds when I was 14, and so I was always in this big rush to get this weight off. Like every diet I did was a dire straight thing, like quit eating, exercise, lift, whatever it took. But I was always feeling like I was out of time. But it was because when you're doing a calorie restrictive diet, I always say that it was like in the movies when you see the guy hanging on the edge of the cliff and his fingers are starting to slip, you know? That's what every calorie restrictive diet was like. Now that I have no carb cravings, I don't fight any kind of hunger and I just feel great. This is the easiest thing ever, just to go incrementally and just I love adding little things in, because every one of them I see the difference, you know. It makes huge difference over just a month or 2 or 3 months, you know. And so yeah, now I'm all about taking the small sustainable things that I can do consistently every day and just adding those in. Before I never could do that because all that mattered was the end goal, because I had such a big problem and I was like, I can't hold on to this calorie restrictive diet this long, that I got to hurry up and get there. You know?
Yeah.
So there's always this emergency.
Yeah. You know, calories are something, you know, calories are a very inaccurate sort of thing to measure. You know, basically when they tell you that, you know, this food has a certain amount of calories, they have no way of telling you exactly how much energy is in, like, in one box of, you know, steak or one box of biscuits to the next. Basically they just burned a bit of oil in a petri dish and said, okay, it's got this, it burns this much, it's got this many calories. It's completely inaccurate. It doesn't relate to real life because everyone uses energy in a different way. For a start, we all you know, metabolize things differently. We all different weights, we're all different sizes and different activity levels and all sorts of things. So you know, it sort of works in the way that you know, like, do you ever hear that the diary diet?
Didn't hear that
Like,
one, no.
the diary diet was you write down everything that you eat each day, right? And people would lose weight simply because they were being accountable for what they were eating through the day.
Oh,
So they
that makes
they
sense.
lost weight, you know. So calories pretty much work the same way. There's really you know, when people say, oh, I can restrict calories and I'll keep myself down to like 3,000 calories, for example, and I'll lose weight. There's actually no way of telling how many exact calories you are not only eating but using, like how much energy you actually use. So it's really not accurate. It just works in the way that it keeps them accountable for what they are eating, because they are more they're watching what they eat, you know.
Yeah. Well,
So
they're more conscientious about it because
that's right.
it's in their face, and I totally feel that, but that makes a lot of sense because I've been way more like, what, you know, I did this carnivore for about 7 months, or about 8 months, I guess, before I started a YouTube channel. And one side effect that I love about doing a YouTube channel is it makes me so much more accountable.
Yep.
Because I have people talking to me, and now it used to be just me that I was messing with, but now I'm like, man, I want to stick to my guns and be successful more than ever, because these people that are coming to me with real terrible problems that they're trying to fix, I want them to see that this works, you know, that you really can do it, you know. So yeah, I could see the diary diet working because it would make you so much more accountable, you know.
Yeah, but the problem is when you go on like a restricted diet like that, is you get muscle wastage, and you still have adipose tissue. So the best thing you can do is increase your activity. Like you said, you were eating like 6,000 calories a day, and you actually lost weight. Yeah,
I did. Yeah,
calories
crazy.
are not a good measure of you know, weight, of you know, how to lose weight.
Well, fuel efficiency.
Best thing you can do is weigh your food. So like, for example, like you started carnivore at what, 700 pounds?
Yeah, 720-ish roughly.
Okay, so are you eating the same size meals as you were then?
No. So my meals, when I first started, I kept bringing my meals down and down and down. And that
Yeah.
was one reason that made me so tired at the end, because I
You
had gotten
started
down to like,
under-eating.
yeah, way under eating. Like I didn't know it at the time, but the scale wouldn't move. I was plateauing. So I started cutting my meals down until I was eating 1700 calories for the day,
Yeah,
which just
Yeah.
wasn't enough for me, you know?
that's not enough for you. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
And so when I bumped them up, I could tell I felt better, but I was having this mental block from all the years of calorie restricting. I didn't
Yeah.
like, you know, to be honest with you, I felt best at like 3,500 calories a day, made me feel fantastic, you know?
Purpose. Yeah.
Hey,
So one way you can do it when you're really big and you'll eat to satisfaction, you'll eat to your full, like Dr. Barry says, but then you start losing weight. Okay, as you get smaller, you will require less food. So start weighing your food. Don't worry about counting calories. Just weigh the food, and that will give you that that energy gap. You know.
right.
But the best way to do it is to just increase your activity.
Yeah.
If you
Which is
do,
happening now.
yeah,
you know?
if you're having trouble with restricting your, like with as you get lighter and making your meals smaller, if you're having trouble with that, do more activity. Okay,
Yeah, that makes
because
sense.
but your body just needs, the best way to lose fat is to build muscle.
Yeah,
Okay?
agreed. Yeah,
Your muscles
and it was
also
just
use a lot more energy as well.
yeah, and now it's, you know, I agree. For me, I was so, you know, I was stuck in a chair for like over 2.5 years. I couldn't move hardly. And when I got COVID, I got super sick and the weight was too much, and I put on a ridiculous amount of fluid in 3 weeks, right? And it just pinned me to this, you know, I was just in a bad spot. But, you know, I knew that once I got that fluid off and I got some of my strength back and the way I was feeling good, that the activity would pick up. And yeah, now it has. Back then, I just couldn't breathe. You know, I was on oxygen hoses and couldn't breathe, so I couldn't do nothing. But now, yeah, it's like I love walking on the treadmill. I love being on the shake plate. I'm, you know, I'm 1,000 times more active and muscles building up, and that's what I love because it's just a compounding thing. It's like a great snowball effect. Because the stronger I get, the more I do. More I do, the stronger I get. The weight
Well,
comes
it's
off.
also about your lymphatic system too. Like I said before, if you want to, your fats are all absorbed in your lymph fluid, and your lymph fluid takes away waste and everything like that. If you want to move fat, you have to move your lymph fluid, which
Yeah.
means that you have to move your body.
Yeah.
Okay, that's how you get rid of body fat. Okay, so it's not just. I mean, you get the subcutaneous fat, the big belly fat, and all that
Yeah.
sort of stuff, and leg fat, arm fat. You also get visceral fat, and you get that adipose tissue in your muscle tissue. So movement is required to move all that and to get rid of it. All right.
Well, that's definitely going to be my goal for this next my next 7 months. So
Good.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
that's
it's
my
just so important for everything. Just to be healthy, you need a healthy lymphatic system.
yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm glad to hear that it cures up, because that's definitely my biggest problem right now is the lymphatic system.
Yeah. Well, I spent total like 5.5 years in bed. 3 of those years were chemotherapy, and then 2.5 years after that, I just couldn't move. So, looking after the lymphatic system does recover on the right food. You stop poisoning it with so-called vegetable oils that are actually machine oils, and worse. So it's amazing how resilient your body really is.
For sure.
And like yourself, even a great example. Just look how resilient your body has been. You've come down from 700 pounds.
Oh yeah.
To
400 400. Well, no, I'm at 480 now, but it's been about 260, 255 pounds.
Yeah.
In
That's
11 months.
a great accomplishment.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's that's awesome, but it's honestly how I feel. That's
Yeah.
the accomplishment. I was on oxygen. I was stuck in a chair.
Yeah.
I had like crazy bad, like suicidal depression, anxiety, all that stuff's gone. You know, I was had I was getting gout all the time, couldn't walk, just had ridiculous amounts of fluid on me. Like all that
Yeah.
stuff's gone. I'm off all my medication. The only medication I occasionally take if I tend to work a lot. I work from home, but if I'm not getting enough sleep, the fluid builds up on me because I'm not with laying down and having my feet up enough.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
sometimes I have to take these stupid fluid pills just to help get it off there. But I'll take them maybe 2 or 3 days out of the month just to help get some of the fluid off me when I'm feeling weighed down.
Yeah. But it's a big accomplishment. I'm on 0 medications again, and it's just this is what
Amazing.
people need to know is just how resilient you can be.
Yeah.
I really believe it, man.
It's,
It's like
it's all those like you were saying before. It's like all those little things that just all those little side effects as well, or recovery, I guess. You just feel so much better.
Mhm.
All these little things, brain fog and anxiety, depression, all sorts of pain and other things that are associated with the Western diet. Is so much better.
and it makes you so powerful because like just this is let's see, it's the 23rd. So in 2 more days, it'll be a full month, but I quit chewing tobacco and I chewed tobacco for 26 years. And I was
Yeah.
chewing, it would have been the equivalent of tobacco of smoking 2.5 packages of cigarettes a day is what I was chewing. And I did that for
Yeah.
26 years. And I quit just almost a month ago now. And
Excellent.
after 2 weeks, all the cravings were gone. You hear how hard, how bad the cravings for tobacco is.
Mm.
I think it was when you're on that terrible Western diet and your
Yeah.
brain's all screwed up and your hormones are screwed up. When your brain and your hormones are healthy, it wasn't that hard to quit at all. It wasn't hard at all.
No, that's good. Yeah, it makes a big difference.
Does.
Being medication free, you are independent again.
Totally.
And for many of us, it's the first time.
Yeah.
When you are dependent on medications, you're dependent on these farmers and all the rest of it. I'm talking about big pharma.
Yeah.
You are screwed. You basically your whole life depends on them. So
Totally.
being responsible for your diet, getting yourself in shape, it's about becoming independent.
Absolutely. Have you seen what these dirty I'm about to say some bad words, but the pharmaceutical companies with that those 2 shots that they're giving now, I can't remember them. They made them for diabetes, but they should when they started lowering people's insulin.
Yeah. I forget what they're called. But yeah, they've already killed people. Just
Not only that, but do you see what they're doing? Like before I came over onto YouTube, I had
they're
this
gene
was before,
therapies, basically. Yeah, they're altering their genes, altering your
yeah,
DNAs, and
Oh,
but
wow.
here's what's so crazy is they offer them a coupon for 3 months that gets these shots for like $150. Okay. And they get used to it and it pulls all this weight off them. They lose weight. They feel better. And then their coupon expires. And you know how much that shit costs a month after their 3-month coupon's over? Is $1,500 a month.
Oh my.
Jeez.
Yeah. And if they stop taking it, they'll gain all the weight back and get sicker. So they get them
Good on you, Lindy.
Ozempic. Yep. Thank you, Lindy.
Wow.
Yeah.
That shit right there. They put out a coupon where you can get it for like $150 a month with the coupon. And then when your
Yeah.
3-month coupon expires and you've lost all this weight and you're feeling good and you realize you think it's this miracle drug, they freaking charge you $1,500 a month for that shit.
The thing is, though, too, they're trying to alter our genes so that we're resistant to cholesterol, right? So think about why they're doing it. you need cholesterol. Our bodies need cholesterol. Our brains need cholesterol. Our hearts need cholesterol. Everything in our body needs cholesterol, right?
Absolutely.
Cholesterol has never ever been proven to cause heart disease or anything else. It has been proven though that a low cholesterol diet causes depression, suicidal depression. That's been proven many times. It also is a result. It causes many other. It also mental illness. I was watching something the other day. Actually, a doctor was talking about low cholesterol diets cause mental illness such as Parkinson's and Alzheimer's and all sorts of things, because we need cholesterol for our brain, you know.
For sure.
But think about why they are doing this. Why would they want you gene altered to resist cholesterol? You know.
Well, it would cause mental illness, near as I can tell.
Well, yeah, among other things.
Yeah. Well, I think all this boils down to control. They want to make everybody weak and dependent.
They want you weak. They want you dependent, and they want you dying slowly enough that you think you're living.
Right.
Yep, I agree.
For sure. They're extinctionists.
And in the meantime, they're making money off of you.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, they're making money off you in between.
Well, yeah,
So,
that's why I always say you can't trust
the whole lot of them are eugenicists. You know.
Absolutely.
You know.
That's the big. I say I don't feel bad. I don't blame myself anymore for getting in such bad health. What I do blame myself for was believing that the doctors had a miracle pill. Like I kept delegating my own health to these assholes that were, they sell the bullets and the band-aids, right? They sell you they get you sick in the system, and then they try to wrench you life in the system.
I don't altogether blame a lot of well, not all of them, doctors, because they are just basically following their education. They believe in their education. I do blame a lot of them for the fact that they don't care what is in these medications. They just know that they have to give them out, so they push them as much as they can because they get paid to push them.
Right.
They're no different to a drug dealer.
Yeah, complacency is no excuse, right? Here's where I get pissed at them. Like, I get that they got indoctrinated just like the rest of us. They went to school, spent a lot of money to get indoctrinated, worse than a lot of us. Okay, I get that, but this is why I love Sean Baker, Ken Berry, the doctors that were there and they had a conscience and they saw it firsthand and they did the right thing. The doctors that get complacent, but they make a bunch of money
for themselves too. They were all victim of the same education. And,
exactly.
They followed the dietary guidelines, and they found that it just wasn't working for them. But they were smart enough and good enough to realize that, get on top of it, and do something about it.
And then share it.
And then share it. And they're helping so many other people to do the same.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's where I don't give the doctors a pass. I understand, like, look, we were all tricked, right? We were all brainwashed.
Especially now, there's no excuse for ignorance.
Right. There's not. And now look at the attempt to cover it up and to turn carnivore into, I say carnivore, but I mean just elimination, animal-based, high-protein diets, restricting the garbage, the junk,
look what they're trying to do with meat. They're trying to ban meat because of a fake crisis, climate crisis for one. But I mean, this is going to be a bit of a tangent, I guess. But think about Gates. Whenever there's a crisis, he always benefits.
Every time.
Now, he's either the luckiest investor in the world, or there's a reason for the crisis.
Yeah, he's the conductor.
You see, they always have a solution before the crisis happens.
Yep. Yeah, totally.
And it's
No,
always
it's
an invisible one. It's always an invisible crisis, you know. You can't
it
go and
is.
check for yourself.
No, it is, and
You
that's
just have
why
to take their word for it.
I know that's this is why whatever people can say what they want, but there was no way in hell that anybody should have taken that damn jab
No, that's right.
after
All it would have
anybody
taken
that
is if everyone just said no, it would never have gotten off the ground. It would never have
right.
happened.
Right. And that's why I get so tired of this propaganda about, follow the science. As soon as you call it the science, it's no longer science.
Exactly.
The science doesn't exist. Science is a
Absolutely
scientific
none of that was
process.
science. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And so as soon as they call it the science, it's a freaking cult. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hate that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's exactly right. There was no science involved in that. And that, masks have been proven to be absolute bullshit. It's the same with the Spanish flu. They knew the Spanish flu was that started off as a vaccine as well.
Yeah.
And then they started masking everyone up, and that's what killed most of the people in Spanish flu. But and then it's the same thing over and over again. They have the same game plan. They just keep doing it, and no one sort of wakes up and says, this has got to stop.
Not as long as they can distract everybody with iPhones and shiny things and, social media and, worrying about their, their clout and all these things. They just get people so distracted and then they're just poisoning the shit out of them. And they're just, I mean, it's obvious. And what they do not want healthy people, strong people, lean people with, that are fearless because their mind's working right and they know what's worth fighting for. They don't want that. That's a real problem for their agenda.
Well, they want to keep us serfs,
Yeah,
that's all.
for sure.
When that whole thing was going on, and they were making the age limit less and less, bringing in the kids to do that. What was it that they settled on? Do you remember?
Well, now they're doing from 0 to 6 months.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say because I thought it was like around 2 years old.
No, now it's from
The other
0 to 6
day,
months.
the other
And
day,
even flu shots are mRNA combination now as well. So, I mean, honestly, I don't see why anyone would ever take a flu shot either.
I don't
It's
do
never
that either.
stopped anyone get a flu.
Nope.
Obviously, it weakens your immune system. It's just,
Yeah, the other day
just-
I was talking to my son and his new wife, and they were talking babies, of course, and so we got to talking about immunizations, and so we pulled it up, and we're really surprised that they're already suggesting, to give that particular immunization to babies, and I'm like, thankfully they don't believe in it either, but that just blew my mind, like especially a young person who maybe is having their first child. You don't question the doctors. You just, oh, I need this immunization and this one and this. That's because they're telling me, you don't question that stuff.
I don't believe God makes mistakes. I think we are perfect when we are born. And, like I've said before, like in Australia right now, and I think it's the same in America, the number one killer of children is cancer. And there's a reason for that. By the time they're 5 now, they get like 50 different shots.
Yep.
When I was a kid, it was only like 3 or 4. Now it's like 50. I just, it's not something I wouldn't do any of those damn immunizations for my kids.
Yeah.
Hell no. Yeah, it's pretty gross what's happening,
Mhm.
and
Disgusting.
I don't know. It's just so evil what's happening, but whatever. I just think this makes
There's
it
going to be some big changes, though. The next few years, there's going to be some massive changes around the world, and I think we're going to see some pretty big trials soon. I don't think it'll be court trials. I think it'll be military trials.
Yeah.
I hope so.
But we'll see.
Me too. I hope so. But definitely what I think is we keep telling people how to really eat again, like they should, to get healthy. And it'll
That's right.
free some people, and it's going to free some minds from the from being so
Yeah.
asleep. You know, I think that I think our sick, distracted minds too can also keep us distracted from paying attention to the truth and seeing the truth. You know.
Yeah, exactly. Like I keep saying to people, the best thing that we can do now to fight back is to stay healthy,
Yeah.
because that's what
Absolutely.
they're trying to take away from us.
And
Yeah.
boost your testosterone. Well, there's no there. You know, it's obvious that they're trying to take men's testosterone and their
Right.
strength
Yeah.
away.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's why they want us, get rid of meat.
Yeah. Yeah. We
Their
got to
fake
fight
lab
back.
grown garbage.
Exactly.
I was watching it actually it was a tiny house channel that I was watching, and they were talking about was it on that or not? It might have been something else, I don't know. But they were talking about how in the state of Tennessee, somebody wrote in and told them that they got, oh, I know what it was. It was a homesteading channel. Anyways, so in their state, in this particular area, they said, we need everybody that has chickens to register their chickens so that you can have permits because you need a permit. So these people
Jesus.
went and registered thinking they were going to get a permit. And then it turned out that no, it said, we need you to register so that you could possibly get a permit. But they didn't give permits to anybody. They wanted all the chickens out of there.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're
Well,
very hard to get rid of them.
That's the same with those freaks from PETA.
yeah.
They just don't want anyone to have any pets. They just collect animals. They kill them all.
Yeah.
They're freaks.
Absolutely, Lindy. I hear you there. I'm addicted to that too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Me and Lindy talk about that a lot, but yeah, we're just so it feels so good to see how much, I never thought that I could get this far in such a short period of time. That it's fun to take
Yeah.
on everything else and see. Like I really want to get into the red light therapy and see if that works. The cold plunge tanks, and see if that works.
That works. That works
Does it?
well. Yeah.
I'll definitely be adding that to my routine then, because it's so fun just to
great
see how
for
strong
bags
and how
and
good you can get.
But I recommend if you go and do ice tank, cold plunge or anything like that, do your deep breathing exercise first, because it makes you more resilient towards the cold. Okay. And it does work. It's a real good shock for your lymphatic system and everything, just ketones and it does great. Yeah. I mean, I don't have a tank or anything like that, but I do just cold showers, just straight cold showers.
Mm-hmm.
Do the same job. So
I'll definitely be adding that to it then, because
that's why the military does cold showers. Like military will tell you they do cold showers every morning. First.
Oh, really?
Thing. Yeah.
Huh. I'm definitely going to try that then, because that I'm surprised how much of these things make a difference.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it does make you angry, That's why, Gary at Homestead How, when I was on his live the other day, he was saying, I like it because you're fired up. And I'm like, yeah, I'm pissed off. I'm taking this personal now. They killed my brother. They killed my dad.
Take this personally, because look what they're trying to do to us. We should take this very personally.
Exactly.
Everyone keeps saying, don't take it personally. Bullshit.
It is personal. Yeah.
It is very personal. They're trying to get rid of us.
Right. They took my dad died. My brother died. My brother was 38, Well, I guess he made it till 40. He went when his heart was damaged by drugs, medication. And he made it till I guess he was 40 before he passed away, but the damage was done when he was 38 from medication. Ruined his heart, And So yeah, absolutely. These bastards. That's why I'm just done. I'm done. You know, people are always, well, what do you say to the people that are going to give you a hard time about carnivore? I'm like, I pick a fight with them. I don't care because like, these guys, if they don't like me eating meat, then they don't like me saving my life, and they're not my friends. So we can go ahead and have it out. You know.
Yeah.
What I don't understand is, like, I've heard Dr. Chapey and Dr. Berry talk about, there are certain studies, proven studies, that show that this way of eating is correct. So if those studies are there and they're totally ignoring them, I don't know why we can't sue the companies that are pushing this stuff. I know we'll never win.
Yeah.
We ain't got a prayer, but I just,
Well, I think
it's very infuriating. Very infuriating.
Yeah, I think the best thing we can do though is like fight back at the supermarket. You know, just don't buy these products. Send them broke.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Break the bastards.
Get as many people recruited
See,
on.
what we're doing is we are creating awareness. If we're waking people up, all right, more people will stop buying their shit.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and that's what we need to do. We need to get more people to stop buying that crap, become independent themselves, and then we can just send them broke. You know?
Yeah, that's what I say. I
We
keep
need
saying
our
I want
to start looking like the ones in Japan is what we need.
Yeah.
Really?
Exactly.
I mean, I saw your videos, David, and I was floored. I was like, this is a carnivore's paradise here.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, Japan's amazing. Like 50% of the supermarket is meat. You know, the dairy products are all raw milk, all raw dairy products. Like butter has two ingredients. Yeah, butter has two ingredients: raw milk and salt. That's it. You know,
that is a paradise, man.
Awesome, really awesome. Yeah.
Well, I think we keep pushing it, and that's what we, you know, that's if we could flip the market to that's what they would demand, and people would really start buying that stuff only.
Yeah,
they'd have to cater to us, you know.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, well, you know, like I said, you just stop buying the crap and send these companies broke. Then you know, all that's going to be left is just good, hopefully, good farmers, good. You know, and I think if you can avoid the supermarkets, go to a butcher, go to you know somewhere that you know away from the supermarkets will help a lot.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Or get to know a good farmer too. It'd help if you know, if you can.
Yeah. No, that's for sure.
We got to push back on them coming after our farmers because they're coming after the farmers big time.
Well, they've been doing it for decades. They've been doing it for decades. Like, they've been sending them broke and then buying up the farms. You know, Gates is the biggest farm owner in America. You know, in the world. You know, so we got to end them. You know, in the best in the best possible way. So
for sure.
What gets me though is these mofos that you know, like Gates and that, they're completely unqualified to speak on anything, yet the world listens to them on everything. You know,
right.
You know, it's you can't blame the dictator. You know, you got to where the blame really lies with is the enablers. You know, all the people that follow the way the things they want done. You know, like blame the governments, blame the police, blame all these enforcers.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they all need to be done. You know. So,
yeah, for sure. Well, and at a certain point, you know, I love, I forget who it was. I think it was Benjamin Franklin said that freedom is for virtuous people. You know, mainly you have to be virtuous enough to sacrifice for the greater good, you know, to stand up for it and to fight for it, you know. And I think that's what's wrong anymore is that we have, you know, people are distracted and they're bought off with all these little creatures of comfort and these little distractions. They're of their phones and their little way of life.
Yeah,
That
and
just
a lot of them are just useful idiots too. They just don't understand what's going on. They take the presents, take all the money, and take all this and that, and they have
Right.
no clue what's going on.
no,
Mm.
for sure.
Yeah. So
Absolutely, it's poison all there. Sorry, this is funny. I'm sitting here going, today was my first day of being monetized, and I'm thinking I'm trying to get YouTube.
Trying to get paid already.
This is the main reason that I never did YouTube before, because amongst other things. But I was like, I don't have the political disposition to last long
Yeah.
on YouTube.
I know what you mean because I have a hard time with myself.
There's an old saying though, if you don't take an interest in what your politicians are doing, sooner or later your politicians will take an interest in you.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
So I actually do have something going on other platforms about all this stuff, but it's not something I mention too much on YouTube because it's obviously just get broken down very quickly.
Oh,
Right,
now
and I
you
have
got me curious.
right, and I don't want to pander to YouTube, but at the same time, like my dad always said, is forfeit some battles to win the war. So we can do better. We can do more good by having reach on YouTube than than smacking the hand, like you outsmart them and use their platform against them type of thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, that's what we're doing. If we're raising, it's showing people that look, you can not only survive, you can recover, you can thrive, and you can reverse a lot of damage on a healthy on what is the proper human diet and what that diet is. So, like I said before, the best way we can fight back, apart from send them broke and don't buy their garbage, stay healthy.
Right.
Because that's exactly what they don't want.
Totally, for sure. Stay healthy, vote with your dollar.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's the only way to get rid of them. Vote with, take your money to where it's most valuable.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, and don't let people guilt you out of it or high pressure you, just like they're trying to do with the masks and the jab and all that stuff.
Yeah, all that garbage. Yeah.
Yep. Well, this is a fun conversation. I just saw Graham on here, and I don't usually get to hang out with Graham, so I wanted to say hi to him. And
that's another thing. Don't comply. Like I said before, if everyone had just said no, there was no way they could have gotten anything off the ground.
For sure. Nope.
So
I'm surprised not more people did say no. That's what surprised me.
Yeah, it surprised me too, actually. How many people just and you can see
fear.
Just how these people took over Germany, for example.
Absolutely.
Fear.
They got
fear.
Fear.
Yeah, it's the same thing happened here. Like in Australia, we had people calling the police and dobbing their neighbors in because they weren't wearing a damn mask.
Yeah,
stupid garbage like that.
I know they had a snitch line. Snitch on your neighbors. Say it's Germany. Nazi Germany shit.
Yeah,
snitch on your neighbor for not wearing a mask. It's like, you piece of crap.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's exactly what it was. So. And again, like I said before, it's the same tactics just over and over again. And it's about damn time people started waking up to it.
I do. That's my favorite part of this whole thing was the overreach woke people up. And that's the best thing that it did for us. They finally crossed a point where the people's, even their luxuries and even their iPhones and their little busy lives and their little social lives and all the comforts that they had, they crossed the line big enough that those people even had to wake up and go, oh, wait a minute. What do you mean? You mean the government doesn't have my best interests at heart?
I can't believe anyone thought they actually did before. But yeah,
Right.
you're right. As like I said the same thing to actually Doc Baker posted something the other day. He said like how ridiculous this propaganda is getting. So
Yep.
the fact is, the more ridiculous this propaganda gets, the more people will just wake up. And those that don't, you just can't do anything for anyway.
No, they're gone. They're a lost cause. I mean,
Yeah.
they are, they're kind of
So
on.
people are starting to see through it.
Yeah.
It's a goddamn
Yeah,
clown world.
Oh, it's been a while. I love to see even the political correctness is finally falling apart. Like
Yeah.
I
About
love to see,
time.
yeah,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
now,
That took
you
so
know,
long.
it's
It's taken a long time, but Jesus.
It
Yeah.
did. Yeah, it was definitely a clown world, but I love comedy. I'm big fan of comedy, and I'm glad because you can see it. It's a funny, but it's the weather stick is kind of in comedy where comedians have been able to be funny again for the first time in a long
Mhm.
time because they're
Yeah.
finally making fun of the political correct nonsense, which is
Yeah.
where it's got to happen. They're canceling everybody, and everybody's running scared until finally everybody got sick of it, and the wave changed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, we have to have communities, right? That'll fight this stuff together and not be taken over, by little,
Well, that's the thing too. We have to stick together on this, because one person stands up is very easy to slap down.
Mhm.
When a whole community stands up,
Yep.
that's a very different thing. One slave stands up against the elite, so to speak.
Yep.
No one's going to take any notice. But when everyone stands up together, then
Exactly.
that's the thing. People don't understand. We are not the minority. We are the majority.
Absolutely.
The whole world, the economy, everything revolves around us.
Absolutely.
We make the economy. We make industry. We make the almighty dollar roll around. We buy, we sell, we create. These people that are doing all this, they do nothing. They are
Right.
parasites. They are
Have
nothing
you
but parasites. Right?
so
These
I'm
freaks in like these so-called think tanks, which I won't name. Starts
Right.
with a W, finishes with an F, and
but
but these so-called think tanks that the whole and they've been set up. All these foundations have been set up from the get-go to push communism and whatnot.
totally.
These freaks, they are the minority. They're nothing but parasites. They're leeches on the backside of a dog.
Yeah.
Right? That's all
They
they are.
absolutely. They totally are. No.
They are
for sure.
nothing. So we do not need them. They need us. Right? Regardless of what they think, we don't need them at all. We can create our own economy. We can create our own industry. We are the ones that build everything.
Yeah, for sure. I know, and it's it's very true. Have you seen? This is off. This is just kind of funny, but have you seen the new South Park Panderverse?
No, I don't know.
You gotta watch the Panderverse. You guys will love it if you love this topic. It's so funny because it starts with it starts with like a alternate or parallel universe, right? Where there's the Panderverse, where it's pandering, where so everything has to be diverse minorities and all this stuff. But what was hilarious about it that I think so funny,
Yeah,
is
so pretty much what we're
because-
doing now, pandering to all this
yeah,
garbage.
pandering. Yep.
Yeah.
And what I love about it is I'm by trade, I'm an electrician, and me and my family are in contracting. And me and my brother talk about it all the time that we're going to take over the world just because the world's becoming more and more less capable of doing things that can keep, that matter in the real world, like build a house, keep the water running, keep the lights on, keep the heat going, and these things. And we've joked about it a long time that we're gonna rule the world because the number of people that are becoming incapable of just the most mundane tasks of just upkeep of your house. it's incredible how that's deteriorating. Well, yeah, in the Pander South Park Panderverse, that's what it was about. So it shows they bring it in. He's like, kids, the kids, we know that you guys can't, or that the skills it takes to upkeep a house is being lost on our youth. And I'm going to show you guys how to do some maintenance around here. So he brings the kids down and they're in front of the dishwasher and he goes, see this dishwasher drawer, or it's the oven door. The oven door is busted and here's how you fix it. And he picks up his phone and he dials a handyman. He said, you call the handyman and then you wait. And so the whole episode is about the handyman comes out and he's like, oh, the screws are stripped. We need new screws at Home Depot, but I'm not going to be able to get back here till the 28th because I'm booked out till then. He's like, I'll give you an extra $100. He's like, they already gave me an extra $500. So what happens is all the handymen end up being the billionaires, the 0.1%. So all the regular people hate the handymen because they're the billionaires. And so then the handymen are sitting there building rockets and starships, having space races like Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos. It's the handymen are building rockets in space. Yeah, it was just so funny because there's so much truth to it, right? That people are delegating all the things that they need. You know, they don't know how to work on their car a little bit or change a tire, change their own oil, change the filter on their furnace, change a transformer, like these simple things that for my dad's life was normal,
Yeah, we're still here, mate.
Yeah. Hard to believe, ain't it?
We got chatty, Graham.
Well, what's funny is when he first started and nobody was here, and I heard him say, well, if nobody's coming, I'll just shut it down. Within like a few minutes.
Almost 3 hours ago.
No, for sure.
Yeah, that's right. Like, I mean, ask a kid now, like a millennial, to open a can of anything. They just don't even know how to operate a damn can opener these days.
No.
Honestly, it's just disgusting that it's gone that far that they don't know how to even just function.
Right. I know I know. Like, it's funny because I've been on a few live streams and told my story, and the fact it's like I didn't realize this was going to be such a point of contention with people, but I told when I was a kid, we were broke and my dad was an electrician and he like we were homeschooled and he put us out to work when I was 14. So I was wiring houses when I was 14 because we had to go to work. We were broke. And, and my dad came from Vietnam and he had been hurt real bad with Agent Orange because it deteriorated his arteries. He ended up passing away of leukemia because that stupid Agent Orange. But it deteriorated his arteries. So when his kids would get old enough, he would put them to work because we had to go work and make money, and so all these people were sitting there typing in. It was off a Sean Baker interview I did. When I did that interview, everybody, a bunch of people in the comments were acting like they couldn't understand. They didn't believe that it was real that I'd be working when I was 14. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about, but this is what I'm saying. These people that it's mind blowing to them to work when you're 14 in construction, and in my dad's world, it's mind blowing that you wouldn't. Like, everybody has to go to work and be proficient and learn something, and so that's why that South Park episode made me, or it was actually a movie that they did, South Park movie, but it was just so funny to me because me and my brother see it all the time. When we were young, Dad was like, you're going to learn how to work on your furnace. You're going to learn how to work on your car. You're going to learn how to repair he just wanted you to know everything, or, at a basic level to be able to upkeep a home. Like, you weren't going to be.
It's really not difficult to learn these days as well, especially now that you have the internet. You can learn pretty much anything.
Absolutely.
I build sheds myself. I maintain my car. I do everything myself. I don't hire anyone to do anything. Why would you pay someone else to do what you can?
It was more normal to teach your children those skills. I mean, I can't tell you how many people I've run into my age who still don't know how to cook. I mean, they really don't know. Everything's about fast food.
How the hell do they survive to that age? You know, it's crazy.
McDonald's.
It's crazy. I mean, it's so funny now too. It's like I have friends with kids that are growing up and getting their driver's license, and they don't know how to put gas in a car. Like they're 16 and they don't know how to fill up a car with gas.
Jesus.
You know what I mean? It's like, what is going on? And then we're trying to hire people for our construction company, and they're coming out of like this participation trophy world of kids.
Yeah.
It's just a nightmare, Yeah,
these goddamn participation trophies, man. What a goddamn joke that is.
Exactly. Like
they learn no resilience.
No. No, and also a little bit of embarrassment when you're a kid is a good thing. It fires you up. You're like, oh, I didn't like how that felt to be in last place. Like, I need to do better.
It's a lesson. You learn to work harder.
Yeah. For sure.
And it's also a skill to learn how to deal with disappointment and to deal with not achieving a goal. It makes you stronger so that you later in life you work harder and you do more to try and get there.
Absolutely.
This is a skill that you need to learn. If everyone gets a goddamn trophy, no one wins. No one learns anything.
No, and it's good for you to be put up against other people that are better at you, better at things than you are, because then you rise to that level. Like it's good for you to be a little humiliated, a little embarrassed, feel a little bit inadequate, and then you're like, okay, I gotta step up my game. This idea where we're not going to keep score and everybody's special because you woke up today and came to a park. It's like, are you kidding me?
I like to look at people who can train better than me, or I train with people who are better than me, so that I can progress.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. You do not want to be the smartest man in the room because you're in the wrong room.
Exactly. I'll be back in a second.
Yep, no worries. I got talkative again. Me and Lindy joke about this. That's why she put up there that our second live stream was 5.5 hours long. I get chatty.
You know what? I don't even like being on camera. And the first live I did, first two live, this is my third, was with Graham and David. And it was only because they're on a different time zone, right?
Right.
And so I only agreed to it because I thought, oh, nobody's going to be up anyway. So our first live stream, it was just the three of us, and I thought that was awesome. So then Graham talked me into a second one, and there were a few people that showed up that morning. This one really took me by surprise. Like, wow, there's a lot of people here.
I don't even know how many people are on, but that's good. Thank you very much, Mandy. I sure appreciate that. Yeah, Dad was a hero for sure.
That whole thing with Agent Orange in Vietnam,
yeah, he got.
My dad did too, Todd.
Again, people being experimented on by these.
Yep. For sure.
Sphincter wipes.
Right. No, it's ridiculous, and that's why my dad, he never glorified. He's proud of his country and he's happy to fight for his country, but he also realized that, that war was not what it was cracked up to be. So
my dad used to say the same thing.
Yeah.
Well, they're all the same, that it's just legalized murder,
Yeah. And
you're basically fighting the same people that you're supposed to be. It seems to me that, these countries, or all our countries, they're sort of they're arming the enemy as well as themselves, like us as well. They just pit us against each other, and while they sit back,
they're doing it on purpose. They create these divisions and then arm everybody because conflict makes money, because it's fear mongering. When you can create a unstable populace and unstable people, you can manipulate them. But
right.
it's like
control.
It's population control too. Yeah. But I mean, I'm not the guy that's going to say that there's no wars that make sense. Like, obviously, we had to fight the Germans, right? Like, that was a
Right, yeah.
given.
Yeah,
You
but
know?
what I'm saying there is that the problem is, like, you know, before the Second War, for example, you know, Germany was bankrupt. There was no money there at all.
Yeah,
You know? So where did they get all their funding from? All right.
true.
So a lot of the West, that, you know, their funding came from us as well. You know,
Not
so
even just us. It came from the old money. I think it came from the deep state. It came from
Yeah.
the Rockefellers.
Yeah.
You know,
Exactly. You know,
yeah, the
but
banks.
you know,
Well,
but
we can see
these
that in today.
organizations, they're
We
in
can
all
see
of
that.
our countries. So basically, they're selling the bullets and the bandages, you know, in the same way, the same respect.
Absolutely.
Well,
No,
we
I
can
totally
see
believe
that
that.
in today's world, where what's going on over in Israel. You know, we're funding both Israel and Iran. I mean, how does that even make sense? We're sending
Yeah,
money to
exactly.
both.
Mm.
It makes no sense whatsoever.
Yeah.
I know there's so much that doesn't make sense, you know, but
Yeah.
it's because I firmly believe that things like, if there was peace and like people were pretty calm and people were saving money and doing all that, then there's basically no exchange going on. They need movement and they need uncertainty. They need the stock market to go up and down. They need money to change hands so that they can steal it, so that they can come up with the most amount of power and have most amount of control. They need to displace people. They need to not let people build a strong community with a good economy and good farms and food and figure this stuff out. They always have to keep shaking everybody up to keep them unstable so that they
Yeah.
can keep controlling them.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yeah. So,
You know why I think it's
but,
the best
you know,
one, Sam? Because we do. Not a lot of people are willing to really just open up and say what's on their mind right now. You know.
Oh, I haven't opened up and said everything. So,
I know I haven't either.
not
When
even
it comes to this, I
scratching the
have to be
surface.
careful.
no, not even
You have to be
scratching.
careful on YouTube. Yeah, we're not even touching the
Yeah.
surface really, but you know, like, hopefully, you know, the good thing about this, what's happening right now, is because it has gotten so ridiculous. People are waking up, you know.
Yeah.
are.
Which means, and I'm not sure how long it's going to take, but at least change is happening. And that's what we're going to look forward to. So,
Yeah. For sure. And I think we just have to be examples. We got to get healthy, you know.
exactly.
We got to be healthy. We got to let other people, we got to be nice to people, kind to people to a point until there's no saving them. And then, you know, then you,
I mean, to a point. I mean,
yeah,
you don't, I mean, you can only take abuse for so long.
for sure.
And you know, like, that's why I actually really, one of the things I really respect about Chafee, his ability to just, you know, stay so calm and talk someone around.
Yeah,
That's a really good skill to have.
it is.
It's not something I would definitely lose it with some people.
Mhm.
But you know, all we can do is, like I said, stay healthy. That'll, you know, because that's exactly opposite to what they want. And show people how we do it, how we stay healthy, and that message spreads, you know.
Right.
And
And just also, like, myself, I'm such a happier person when I feel good, when my
yeah,
body's functioning properly. That rubs off on people. They see the difference. They see that you're actually not stressed out anymore, not sick, not, not depressed and full of, anxiety and all this stuff. And just keep showing that party. That's why I keep saying the best thing I can do for carnivore is to get down to, my ideal weight and look like Sean Baker someday. Like, that's the best thing I can do for carnivore, because everybody that knows me, they're going to have to ask,
yeah.
What's
Yeah.
WEF?
Was that Daya?
What is WEF?
World Economic Forum.
Oh,
Yeah.
I should know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll have nothing and be happy. I
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
That guy
Yeah.
needs a high velocity lead sandwich is what that guy needs.
Yeah. I like that
Yeah.
one, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and there's quite a few of them. Yeah, have a look. Yeah, if you really want someone to dislike, have a look for Yuval Noah Harari.
Who?
Yuval Noah Harari. He is a top advisor to those freaks in the. He basically said he basically tells everyone that there's no need for us to keep humans anymore. So,
I know this is why I do actually really like Elon Musk. I think he is actually on our side. I think he's fighting this. I really do.
now he is, yeah. I think he's doing it for yeah, he is now anyway, yeah.
Right. You think
Just
he
leave
might
it at
flip
that.
later like this is like you
No, I think he's already flipped. I don't think he was originally, but I think yeah. But he is now, so it's all good.
Oh, okay. I think you think before he was on that other side, now he's seen the light. Okay, I got you. I was worried that he might be false opposition and, being real smart about it, because I always wonder if that's going to flip or not. But I like what he's doing, but I love what he said the other day. He was going to I forget where he's going, but he was going to like to have a talk. I think it was in Britain to like the prime minister about AI, and he was basically saying we cannot let the extinctionists get a hold of AI because if they start programming AI before we do, he said these people want to see human life gone. The extinctionists want all human life gone. And he was talking about that the other day, and I was like, that makes a really, really good point. There really are extinctionists. And he also made such a great point too, like whether you're Christian or whatever, it doesn't matter. Civilization, the first, basically you can make an argument that it was either 5,500 years ago or up to 13,000 years ago if you believe in private, previous civilizations of like a Bekli Tepe and all that stuff that they're finding might have been advanced civilizations before this civilization, but even so, he made it. What's that?
I absolutely believe that.
Of like advanced civilizations before this round.
Mm.
Yeah, and that very well could be, but how long ago do you think those were? Like 13,000 years ago up to maybe 30,000 years ago?
Yeah, no one knows. No one knows how old the pyramids are, for example.
Right.
And there are pyramids all over the world,
Right.
not just
for sure.
Egypt.
Well, anyhow, he was making a good point that I like. Basically, everything that we've been able to spot so far, civilization, meaning writings and, the written word is 5,500 years old. If you go back to a Bekle Tepe, they believe that they found that was about 13,000 years old, which may predate our civilization that we think we're in right now. But even those things in the picture of a 13.5 million year window for Earth, that means life has been very short and very fragile. And it's absolutely ridiculous to have extinctionists wanting to destroy something so amazing and so fragile that's been around for such a short period of time in the big window of creation, evolution, whatever you want to believe in, Yeah, I mean, it's incredible. So these extinctionists really got to be watched because they are pathological cults, basically, in my opinion.
They basically are. I don't. Yeah, we don't need to just watch them. We need to get rid of them. Full stop.
Yeah, exactly. I agree. Back to that sandwich I was talking about.
Yeah, exactly. We just need to end that. We need to end this garbage that's going on around the world. Full stop. And there's just so much. Everything absolutely everything in this society is a complete lie.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to return to truth.
We do. Truth and meaning. That's why I love Jordan Peterson, The Pursuit of Truth and Meaning.
Brilliant.
for
Yeah,
sure.
it's
When you
really
start
good.
waking up to just how much is a lie, it's just
All of it.
yes, it's just mind-boggling to see just how much
Well,
is
the-
a lie.
Well, and that's why
Yeah.
it's so hard to wake people up, because when you really start pulling at that thread, you're like, all of it? Like all of it?
Trust me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, you think you just get used to one thing. Okay, the politics is all a lie, and then you think, oh, okay, then it's the education, then it's the food, then it's the this, and then it's like
Yeah,
absolutely. It's like, Jesus, man, how the hell did this happen?
Yeah.
yeah,
Because we were complacent, because we fell for
That's
it. People
right.
were asleep
Yeah.
and people were polite.
Yeah.
People didn't stand up. People didn't say WT, you know?
yeah.
Well, I think it's made it more difficult for them to do it now because of for this example, like the internet. We can speak to people all around the world. We can spread the message a lot easier. Whereas up until like the 90s, everything was just in books, and not many people sort of picked up a book and read all about this stuff. You know. So and everything on TV was just utter garbage propaganda. So
Yeah,
the only thing
absolutely.
the only thing that they ever hear and see or read is nothing but garbage.
Yeah, absolutely. Nope, it's for sure. I hope this isn't true, because that'd piss me off.
I was just gonna say, have you heard anything about this? Because I haven't.
I
I
haven't.
mean, I
but
would
I
put
know
it
that. Yeah, I know they've been doing this in Australia to cattle, without any success though, because the cattle just keep dying.
Mm.
And they've been doing it without the consent of some farmers as well. So they've actually been killing off their herds. I don't
How are they
know
doing it
about
without the
the
consent? They just go out there and shoot them or something?
yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
See, this is why I value our Second Amendment in America. There would be some very unalived
Damn straight.
scientists. Yeah.
Yeah. Rabies pellets in New Zealand. Yeah, see, like they've been doing it from a helicopter as well in Australia. They've just been throwing off farmers' cattle. They'd go out and just find herds completely wiped out. Yeah, that's something that you probably couldn't do in America because of the Second Amendment. But see, like we do have our original Constitution in Australia. We do have gun rights, but they against the people's will, the people that have been in for decades and decades, they keep changing the Constitution, illegally.
Right. Right.
Just
Well, that's what was it? I think it was Andrew Jackson said. Was it Andrew Jackson? I think it was Andrew Jackson said the beauty of the Second Amendment is you won't need it unless they try to take it. So
exactly. Yeah.
I get in that argument, because the propaganda media is always trying to make gun violence something that it's not, and they skew the actual numbers on purpose, because it's actually ridiculous, and it's not a topic for here. But I'd
Yeah, I find it interesting that these so-called happenings in America that only happen in like
gun-free zones.
Gun-free zones.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and I mean it's absolutely stupid. I mean if you take, I think it's something like, and I'm gonna get close with the numbers here. It's not gonna be perfect because I haven't read this statistics in a while, but it's basically like 30% of the guns deaths in America are from suicides. Okay, so
yeah.
just like it was people killing themselves, which is a problem with our food, and I now know for sure. I believe that mental illness is mostly 99% the diet that we're eating.
Absolutely,
but
without doubt.
Okay, so 30% is suicides. Okay, about the other 60% is gang on gang violence in like 4 big cities, right? And they're already have all the gun laws you could possibly have. They're already not supposed to have the guns, and it's a drug war.
Well, these gun law areas, there's gun-free zones, and that the only people that have guns are the ones that don't care
Criminals.
about the law.
Yeah,
The
the criminals,
criminals.
right?
You know?
I'll tell you what, in
So-
my state, I'm in Montana, the more guns you have, and like we have like, I think it's 2.7 guns per person per capita here. You don't see much crime here because if you break into somebody's car, you might get shot. You don't break in somebody's home because you might get shot. Like that
Yeah.
stuff does not happen very much here. And we don't have school shootings, we don't have that problem here, and obviously we have a low population. We only have 1 million people in our state, but you don't see those problems here. When you start taking the ability of the people to defend their families and property and citizens against attacks, that's
Yeah.
when you create these areas that are ripe for this kind of violence and destruction. And then you mix that with mental illness. Yeah, that's where that stuff comes from. But even then, if you take away suicides and gang violence, right? The amount of gun violence that kills people outside of those two areas, and you take it, more people die from like falling down and like toasters in the United States than they do from guns. It is such a propaganda piece. Now, here's the crazy thing, because I think it's something like 7,000 or 8,000 gun deaths a year out of 350 million people. It's like 7,500 gun deaths a year. That was what that equates to. Now, gun owners brought 1.5 to 3 million attacks, violent crime attacks per year with their guns. So there's 7,500 basically gun violence attacks that aren't contributed to gang violence or suicide, and there's 1.5 million to 3 million throttled attacks due to gun owners, private gun owners. Now, you can't say that we don't know what the attacks would have ended up being had they not had a gun. Those could have been all sorts of murders, rapes, all sorts of things, but they didn't happen. They got throttled because of gun owners. So they literally want to take away the guns that are causing basically 7,500 deaths a year that would cause an extra 1.5 million to 3 million crimes per year in the United States that could be any matter of deaths or violent crimes. We don't know what they would have turned into.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah. I mean, you got to think about why they want these gone, So,
yeah.
And who benefits,
Right. Yeah, it's absolutely silly. And I always tell people, so in the United States, we have 350 million people, and we have I think it's 480 million guns in circulation, right? And we live in a country that can't keep illegal drugs out of prisons, but they think that they're going to regulate 450 million guns out of a free populace. Good luck.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. Yeah.
No, and now you can 3D print guns, in your garage,
Yeah. Yeah, that I think could be a problem.
Could be for sure, but the only thing that we can do to back it up is to have good people that are equally capable of defeating evil people. We have to match the power and the ability of the good people with the evil people, and that's what stops the evil people. Nothing else.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, you can't wait, 30 minutes for the police to show up.
No.
A lot can happen in a couple of seconds.
No, and then look at what happens with the police. As soon as you start giving them that kind of power, they get corrupt. They get bought up. They're all corrupt.
Yeah, exactly.
Then you have another problem.
I mean, I don't know if you saw the lockdowns here in Australia. You saw the protests, and you have a look at how corrupt the police are here.
It was pretty terrible. I was watching it, man, and I was cheering for your Aborigines because I seen your Aborigines fighting back, and I was like, kick some ass.
Depends on which one you're talking about.
I only saw one news report, but I saw where they were trying to give the jab to some Aborigines, and they were going after them. And maybe it was just something that was propaganda. I don't know, but it showed Aborigines with like spears and knives and stuff they were not going peacefully, and they actually had to back off of them. And I don't know what happened to them later, but they showed it and showed them fighting back.
I never seen that one.
Yeah, there was a lot of us actually. We fighting back, but it is. We'll get there.
What
Yeah.
was heart gut wrenching to me was they showed this woman that had like a Facebook group that she was putting together, just like
A
some
pregnant woman in Melbourne
Yeah.
who was arrested. Yeah,
yeah.
just for
What was that?
that was much worse than that. Like they beat up on old women that they actually. I'm not. I mean, they say that she died, but we can't really get reports properly here on those sorts of things. But they beat up on old women who were the protesters who were just out. They were walking together, very peaceful, and police attacked them.
Oh wow.
Whereas if it was for like the BLM garbage, they all stood back, took a knee while they burned down the city.
Right.
Absolute bullshit.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
This year, like the Zuckerberg program, there was actually a video of a scientist that works for the WE, and the F.
Mhm.
He was actually on stage saying that they are developing they're telling they are altering people's to try and build up an allergic reaction to red meat to try and stop them from eating it. So this program is very real,
Hmm.
Yeah. So we're just gonna have to overcome it.
Yeah, that's right. And like you said, we just fight back with the dollar and stop buying the garbage, stay healthy, and let
local.
other people know just how healthy we are.
Yeah, let's not take the vaccines, none of them.
Yeah,
Let's take care of our farmers, create our local economies. People that want to license and regulate everything, show them the door. Show them the door in large groups.
exactly. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we're the ones that make our economy. We're the ones that build everything, and we're the ones that ultimately it's up to us to take it back.
For sure.
Yeah. So.
Absolutely.
All right,
Well,
guys.
this
So I
was
think
fun talk.
we might leave it there, as we've been going for a bit of a while. Had a bit of a chat. It was nice to meet you, Todd. It was a good chat.
Good chat. Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
see you guys, and we'll see you on Sunday. We'll see you in the chat on Sunday. See you guys.
See you, everyone.
All right, I'm gonna go too. I'm freezing.